to listen back to the show via the Talksport app, or you can find it as a podcast on the EFL All Access feed. They talked about Sheffield Wednesday's relegation to League One, and they were also joined by Mark Bonner, Cambridge United's Director of Football, as they discussed the League Two title race. MK Dons winning last night at Walsall to solidify their place in the top three. You can listen back to that show wherever you get your podcast. Just search EFL All Access. So the teams have done their lineups. They're now handing their tracksuits to their kit man, and we're not far away from kick-off here on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Other games tonight in the Championship at Blackburn, Hull City, Swansea City, Watford, West Brom, Wrexham and Southampton at 8 o'clock. There's also 3 Champions League games kicking off at 8, including Newcastle's second leg against Karabakh. Remember, they're 6-1 up from the first leg, so I think they're all right going through to the round of 16. Leverkusen 2-0 up against Olympiacos going into their home leg, and Inter Milan with a mountain to climb, 3-1 down after the first leg to Bodo Glimt from the Arctic Circle. Also, there's League 1 and League 2 games tonight, Scottish Premiership, National League, and there is that Football League Trophy quarter-final ongoing that kicked off at 7, so they're approaching half-time at Kenilworth Road. Luton Town 1-0 up on Plymouth Argyle. A recap of the teams then ahead of kick-off. Middlesbrough lineup with Sol Bryn in goal, Callum Britton, Luke Ayling, Adilson, Malanda and Matt Targett in a back 4, Alan Brown, Aidan Morrison, Hayden Hackney in the midfield 3, Morgan Whittaker, Tommy Conway and Riley McGree the front 3. For Leicester, Asmir Begovic is their goalkeeper, Ricardo Pereira, Calabacoli, Ben Nelson and Luke Thomas in their back 4, Harry Winks and Oliver Skip holding, and then Bobby Decordova-Reid, Divine Mukasa and Steffi Mavididi in behind Patson Daka. And we'll talk about individual players more as we go along, Mickey Gray, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Divine Mukasa's got about him. At Manchester City's academy, he's come to Leicester, his first loan out. He's got goals and assists already in 4 appearances. Looking the part, looks like it's the perfect indoctrination into what you might call real football for the kid. Well, I like to see players coming from a Premier League side and given their opportunity in the Championship. It makes them grow. And some players, they take it with the scruff of their hands and they want to get involved and play every single week. And Mukasa seems to be one of those players. I'm on Mukasa watch. I'm on Hayden Hackney watch tonight. I'm really looking forward to that. And there's so much talent down there, Dance. Hopefully we're in for an exciting game with a lot of goals. Well, Mukasa's going to take the kick-off for Leicester, who are in all blue in their traditional first-choice colours. They'll be defending the North Stand away to our left, Leicester, in this first half. Middlesbrough in all red with that white sash across the chest. They'll be attacking the North Stand to our left in the first half, the hosts. But Mukasa waiting for Andrew Kitchen to blow his whistle. And we're underway for another Tuesday night of EFL action across the Talksport network. Adrian Durham taking you around the grounds over on Talksport, but here on your home of the EFL Talksport 2, it's all about this game between second from top and third from bottom. Luke Ayling back in the Middlesbrough side, hoofs the ball downfield, playing at centre half tonight, goes into the Leicester half of the field, bounces around the halfway line, and Riley McGree, another player back in the Middlesbrough side tonight, gets control of it, does really neatly with it in the centre circle, and it's fed out left to Matt Targett. Plays a lovely ball up to McGree again near the left-hand corner of the area, goes down under pressure from Harry Winks, and Middlesbrough have a free kick just outside the Leicester City area inside the first minute, 0-0. Yeah, and a bright start, wasn't it, from the home side. Really good ball from Matt Targett. A lot of pace on it to make sure it got to McGree. And he's going to hold that ball up. Any little bit of contact outside that 18-yard area, he's going to go to ground. And Andrew Kitchen was there on the spot, wasn't he? But this gives Middlesbrough a very early chance to test the goalkeeper, Begovic. Well, let's see what they can do from here. It's to the left of centre. Hackney and Targett are the two likely. It's more likely Hayden Hackney with the right foot than Targett with the left, unless they're going to try and catch us all out. Middlesbrough have put a 3-man wall next to Leicester City's 5-man wall, just to really confuse matters and make it difficult. Not just for Hayden Hackney, who looks the most likely to see where the goal is, but for Asmir Begovic in the Leicester goal to see where the ball is. Yeah, nobody lay on the ground though, Dance. So yeah, what's going on? No draft excluder. No. Has that finally become passé? Probably, yeah. We've moved on from that now. So, early chance for Middlesbrough with nearly 2 minutes gone. A free kick outside the area. Hackney standing over it, runs over it. It will be Targett left-footed. Goes round the wall and it's pushed out by Asmir Begovic. It was on target, but a fairly comfortable save all the same for the veteran. Pushed out a play for a throw, 0-0. Yeah, early stages of the game. I maybe ask a little bit later on in the game, can Begovic catch it? as McGree tries to latch onto a ball down the left-hand side of the area from target, but just couldn't bring it down out the sky, came off his shin and out for a Leicester City throw. So Leicester 1 point behind West Bromwich Albion going into tonight's games. Remember, West Brom are at home to Charlton tonight. That game's just got underway at the Hawthorns. So if Leicester got the 3 points here and West Brom were to lose, then that would take Leicester out of the bottom three. A draw would not be enough because of goal difference. Here is Ben Nelson playing the ball out left to Luke Thomas, immediately under pressure for Morgan Whittaker. It's guided back to Nelson. Got real centre-half problem at Leicester City at the moment. The likes of Vestergaard out injured. Harry Souttar's been out for ages. Ball played up to halfway by Callum Coley, but Mukasa tried to keep it in play and did on this near touch line, but in doing so presented the ball back to Middlesbrough. Luke Ayling passes the ball up just over the halfway line. Lovely run from Callum Britton. Early ball in field, but Coley onto it at the back for Leicester. But the clearance only reaches just shy of halfway, and Middlesbrough have it back. And once again, it's Luke Ayling, who scored late on in the reverse fixture earlier in the season. Leicester had the lead through a penalty right on half-time, but I think it was 95, 96 minutes when Ayling headed Borough level.
It's going to be interesting to watch him play centre-half tonight, Dance, because I always think he does his best work in the opposition's half when he's been as a right-back or a right wing-back. Defensively, I don't think he's the best, but he's back in the team tonight. Middlesbrough fly, and he's got to have a little bit of confidence.
Well, Callum Britton was an excellent acquisition for me from Blackburn, and I mean, I would imagine him keeping his place no matter who's around, because he does get forward.
Well, there's another one who's played left back. I've seen him play centre half for Blackburn as well, but he's certainly capable of doing all of those positions.
Well, Britton's just won a throw just over the halfway line. 4 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Middlesbrough 0, Leicester 0. Ball is back with Luke Ayling, seeing a lot of the ball in these early stages, the former Leeds stalwart. Playing it across the back line to target. Immediately pressurised by Declan Overreed, who robs it off him. Now Mukasa keeps his feet and gets to the edge of the area. Tries to feed it through for Daka, but Middlesbrough do enough at the back. And then Aidan Morris is pulled down by Steffi Mavididi, and it's a free kick to Middlesbrough just outside their own 18-yard box.
Well, it was a little bit sloppy from Luke Ayling, wasn't it? Simple pass to Matt Target, who was, 5 to 10 yards away from him, but got a little bit sloppy, and that gave Leicester City the opportunity. And with the pace that those players have got in those forward positions, you do not want to be giving sloppy passes away.
Here's Declan Overreed, right-hand side, clips the ball in from the far right-hand touchline, and the goalkeeper came out, did Sol Bryn, but he was bailed out by this young centre-half, Adilson Malanda. My first chance to look at him live. He's getting rave reviews from the Middlesbrough local journalists we spoke to before kick-off, and he decided that keeper wasn't going to make it and cleared it out of play for a throw.
Well, positional-wise, absolutely first class, because again, you can see the pace of Patson Daka. It wasn't the worst ball in the world, actually. Tried to play in behind, use his pace, but Malanga was in the right place at the right time, just to clear his lines.
Luke Thomas comes across to the right-hand side for the long throw, which he hurls to around the penalty spot. Flicked to the far post by Ayling. Kept in play and worked back to Declan Overreed in the centre of the Middlesbrough half. To his right is Harry Weeks. Thought about a shot, was winding up for a moment, but then thought better of it. And now he works it back to Skip to Ricardo Pereira at the edge of the centre circle. Skip turns away from the attentions of Whittaker. Now Harry Winks again. Looks for Mukasa. Neat turn, half turn. Plays it inside the fullback, trying to get Mavididi away, but the centre-half's do enough for Middlesbrough, and it's guided back to Sol Bryn, who will clear first time, but that won't reach halfway. And it's headed up in the air by Ben Nelson. Drops in the centre circle, but first onto it are Middlesbrough. And running through the halfway line, it's played out to Tommy Conway, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Conway doesn't drive for the byline, knocks it back for Target, just lifts the ball into the box, half cleared by Nelson. Britton guides it down for Whittaker at the right-hand corner of the Leicester box. Played back in field for Aidan Morris, but it's intercepted by Leicester, but the touch from Declan Overreed allowed Hackney to get involved, but Leicester still managed to smuggle it clear. Mavididi runs into Ayling on halfway, and it's all very scrappy. Possession being given up very easily by both sides here, Mickey, at this point. 0-0.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy, isn't it, from both sides. Luke Ayling's done very well. The last couple of occasions the ball's been in his vicinity, he's won the ball, but on this occasion, as I mentioned earlier on, He got into the opposition's half, and as a centre-half, yes, you can give the ball away, but you have to get yourself back into position. He was out of position, and I'll keep mentioning this, Dan. The pace that Leicester have got up front, they have to be so careful that they don't leave themselves too isolated at the back, Middlesbrough.
0-0 here with 7 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Blackburn have the lead against Bristol City early on, and it's the man that scored that dramatic late winner on Friday night on Talksport 2 against Preston, Yuki Ohashi, who's got an early goal this time. Mike and O'Neill heading for 3 straight wins, having taken temporary charge at Ewood Park. That's the first goal of the night in the Championship. 0-0 here. Here's Malanda on halfway for Middlesbrough. Morris tucks it in field for Morgan Whittaker. Spotted the run of Britton on the wing, couldn't quite find him, but then a great challenge from Aidan Morris gives it back to Middlesbrough. Slid down the right-hand side of the box for McGree. Pulls it back to the edge of the area. Target running onto it. Awful shot, but it still breaks for McGree at the right-hand side of the area, but he's robbed by his opposite number Winks, but his clearance is won back by the hard-working Callum Britton. Middlesbrough still have it in Leicester's defensive third. And it's Callum Britton flicking the ball in field. Hackney getting into the area, trying to make room for a shot, but there wasn't any room. So it's played back to Aidan Morris. Leicester keeping their shape, defensively speaking, just inside their 18-yard line. And Middlesbrough let to go back to the halfway line to build again with Ayling. 0-0.
Well, you get every Leicester City player behind the ball, and they had to be, because Middlesbrough, as soon as they pick the ball up, it's counter-attacking football at its best. Great pace. It's just that final ball at the moment, a little bit sloppy from both sides, but it's such an open game of football.
It is. 8 minutes gone. 0-0. Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL. Ayling getting involved again, keeping the ball away from Patson Daka, and then the ball's hit against Daka and out for a throw by Aidan Morris. So a throw to Middlesbrough, their 9th consecutive season in the Championship. They've made the playoff once and lost here. I was here that night when Coventry, having got a 0-0 at home, got a 1-0 one. Gus Harmer scored the goal for Coventry and it got them to the final. They were 10th last year, Middlesbrough, and that's why Michael Carrick paid with his job. And when these two teams met earlier in the season, different managers. Rob Edwards for Borough.
Yeah.
Marty Cifuentes for Leicester City.
1-1. Back in November,
1-1.
I think it was, Dance, as well. Yeah, but I mean, you look at the contrast of how these clubs have changed. Leicester City have been a Premier League side, only a couple of seasons ago, last season, and you think of where they are now and how they've been struggling and what Middlesbrough have done. They've built slowly, but this squad has got better and better, and they look now like they've got a manager who wants to take them to what I call the promised land, the Premier League.
Yeah, Kim Hellberg appointed in late November, manager of the month in January. He's won 10 of his 17 games in charge of this club. Ball's back with Malanda on halfway. Fierce pass out to Matt Target, well controlled by the former Newcastle man. Slides it down the left-hand side of the box. Conway pulls it back, but it's turned behind by Coley for the first corner of the game at the North Stand end to Middlesbrough. 0-0.
Well, Matt Target's getting so much space over on this left-hand side. He plays a wonderful little ball in behind there to Tommy Conway, who's got the pace. Looked like the ball was going to run out, but he eventually got there and just pulled it back with his left foot, hoping that one of his teammates were going to get on the end of it. But they look a real threat, Middlesbrough, in that final third, which is why Leicester are all back inside their own 18-yard area.
Hackney takes the corner and fires it out to Whittaker at the edge of the area, trying to turn it back across the face of goal. It was blocked by the backside of Decordova-Reid, and the ball ricochets out to the centre of the Leicester half, and Callum Britton slides the ball out to the right-hand side. Played back in field, and it's picked up by Callum Britton once again. Ayling's moved out of the way. Aidan Morris wants a piece of it. Alan Brown's out there as well wanting it, but it's McGree. Tucks it back to Aidan Morris. Now Britton making a strong run, puts the ball into the area, but it deflects away from a Middlesbrough boot, but poor ball from Decordova-Reid. It's across the face of goal, but brilliant defending by Callum Coley, who had to make it as it was squared across the box. If he hadn't made it, it would have been a tap-in for Morgan Whittaker. Here come Middlesbrough again. Hayden Hackney down the right-hand side of the box. Britton tries to fire it in, deflects to Whittaker. There's a forest of legs in there to try and bend it round, and then Target has a try, and it's blocked by Skip. Consistent pressure here by Middlesbrough. Can they make it pay? McGree running along the 18-yard line, gets it back via a deflection from Target, turns away from Skip and Winks. It's fired down the right-hand side for Whittaker, pulls it back, and Coley's there again. to clear for Leicester City, and the offside flag had gone up anyway. Free kick to Leicester, who survive an intense couple of minutes of Middlesbrough pressure, 0-0.
Well, take a breath, Leicester City, because you are under the cosh. I mean, Middlesbrough are just playing keep ball inside of their 18-yard area. Couldn't quite get the shots away, but the movement's excellent. Whittaker, on the final occasion, found himself in an offside position, but the little intricate passes round the corner is absolutely superb to watch. Just needs somebody to get on the end of it.
That's the voice of Mickey Gray, former Sunderland, Wolves and England defender, with me, Ian Danter, on Talksport 2. Bradford take the lead against Rotherham in League One in the Yorkshire Derby. Curtis Tilt up from the back. In fact, it's been given to Matthew Pennington. It's been changed since I last looked. Matthew Pennington credited with the goal at the University of Bradford Stadium. And Hull City lead Derby. Callum Elder with an own goal against his old club. Here is Alan Brown working the ball down the right-hand side of the area for Middlesbrough. Whittaker going for the byline, wins a corner. The pressure continues from the Teessiders, but it stays 0-0 on Talksport 2.
Well, what a start from Middlesbrough. Look, they had a 0-0 last time they were here against Oxford, and they've started exactly in the same vein, on the front foot, trying to break the deadlock. Just need that little bit of quality when they do get into that final third, but they've started very, very brightly.
So a corner in the north-east corner of the stadium to our left-hand side. Whittaker with a left-footed in-swinger onto the 6-yard line. Comfortably headed clear by Luke Thomas. And Mukasa trying to take the ball with him as it bounced awkwardly. And as soon as the ball dropped, he was pressurised by Malander at the back. And then Targett tries to take the ball off him. Got a bit of a nudge from Mukasa, I think. But the Leicester youngster still got the ball clear. And the Foxes end up winning a throw right in front of their manager, Gary Rowett. 0-0 with 13 minutes gone on Talksport.
Yeah, but they've got to calm down a little bit, Dance, Leicester. And I know they're under pressure and every single pass is scrutinised. They've just got to try and slow it down a little bit and maybe try and dictate and play the game at their pace, because at the minute they're struggling to even get out their own half and get the forward players involved in the game and ask Middlesbrough some questions. But the home side have been excellent. They really have. They look really sharp.
But it's still 0-0 here with nearly a quarter of an hour played. Couple of goals in the National League. Boston United have the lead at Forest Green, who haven't won in 4. Frankie Maguire with a penalty for Boston, who themselves are 5 unbeaten. And Boreham Wood lead at Southend by a goal to 0. Abdul Ali Malik. And here's Bobby Deckard over Reed, firing the ball across the face of goal as Leicester got the benefit of a deflection. And Luke Ayling's taking an age to get rid of the ball. First of all, he was pressurised by Deckard over Reed, and then he hits the ball against Patson Daka. He's just content to hold on to the ball in his own 18-yard box when he's surrounded by blue shirts. Middlesbrough win a free kick, but he's dicing with danger as Luke Ayling.
This is the issue I've got with him, Dance. Luke Ayling, look, I think he's a very good right back, but he's an offensive right back. Defensively, there's always been a question mark over him. Look, at times, I think he wants to do too much, which is why I don't think centre-half suits him, because he wants to try and break out from the back. He's got very, very lucky on 2 occasions there. Nearly robbed the ball off from Patson Daka. Just clear your lines and have a little bit of a breather.
Crossfield ball come to be dealt with for Leicester by their right back Ricardo Pereira. Has at feet now, midway point of his own half. York City are in front at Scunthorpe through Josh Stone. 7 straight wins for York City before tonight, and second in the National League. Here's Steffi Mavididi for Leicester, left-hand corner of the area. Couple of step-overs, gets away from Britton, plays it back to the edge of the area, gets it back. Mukasa had gone down, but no foul. Here's Mukasa again, goes down again on the 18-yard line, but the referee is still unmoved. And then Whittaker sweeps it up to halfway, asking McGree and Conway to give chase. But that's very easy for Ricardo Pereira to deal with, and it's back with the keeper. As Rochdale, the leaders of the National League, take the lead at FC Halifax Town through Devante Rodney. So lots of goals around early on in the EFL and the National League. But with 16 minutes gone here, Mickey Gray, at the Riverside, it's still Middlesbrough 0, Leicester City 0.
Yeah, and I say Middlesbrough are in control of this game, but they do look nervy when Leicester are on the counter-attack.
Good touch from Aidan Morris just to keep the ball away from Deckard over Reed, but Leicester snaffle the ball back into possession with Winks in the centre circle. Gets it back from Mukasa. Now he plays a 1-2 with Deckard over Reed. Pereira had a bit of space on this right-hand side. Winks has got it in the centre of the Middlesbrough half. And then it goes out via Mukasa to Ricardo Pereira. Ball down the right-hand side of the box for Deckard over Reed, who's fouled by Malander. Free kick to Leicester down the right-hand side of the Middlesbrough penalty area. No goals.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of inexperience there from Malander. He's just got to stand his ground as a strong centre-half. Deco Dovere got himself into a nice position there, but he's always going to win that ball, and he's just got to use his strength. But as soon as he feels that contact from Elanda, you know he's going to go to ground. And this is a dangerous position for Leicester. You've got to try and pack that box as much as they possibly can.
Well, Macassar looks to be pulling rank, as it were, on Harry Winks. It's going to be the left foot of Macassar from the right-hand side of the penalty area, about 12 yards from the dead ball line, who's going to try and swing this in and maybe fire it in at pace for Leicester City. Middlesbrough holding their line about 8 yards from goal, trying to afford a bit of space to their keeper. Bryn waits as the kick comes in, and Akoli nods it home. Leicester lead. The struggling side have their noses in front, and it was a pacey free kick from Mukasa, who found the head of Caleb Akoli, and it went under Bryn and in. It's Borough 0, Leicester 1.
Well, what a ball from Divine Mukasa. We were thinking, was it going to be Harry Winks to take the free kick? Well, Mukasa said, no, I'm going to have it. And he's whipped it in towards that 6-yard area. And I looked at Akoli, and he was in between two defenders when the ball came into the area. And all he had to do was just direct it towards that Middlesbrough goal. It's a brilliant ball. It's got so much pace on it. And he wanted it more than those Middlesbrough defenders. Look, they've been a threat on the counter-attack, Leicester City. And that is a wonderful finish.
Only his second goal for Leicester City, Caleb Akoli. The other one was at Brighton in the Premier League. He has given Leicester a lifeline in their battle to stay in this division.
I think Middlesbrough have got a problem with Luke Ayling. Look, I know he's got back into the team tonight, but I see him as a right back. And I'll keep on saying this. He was marking Akoli, and he never really wanted the battle when that ball came into his position. He ducked his head a little bit. Akoli was braver and just directed it towards that Middlesbrough goal. The problem with Ayling is he wants to go forward. Like you see him now, he's searching for the ball and he wants to break forward. You cannot do that as a centre-half, especially if you're supposed to be nice and solid at home. Let your forward players do all the hard work and win the game for you. You just defend. Well, he hasn't defended, and he was really sloppy then.
Lots of goals going in. Middlesbrough lead here with 19 minutes gone. Bristol City have equalised at Blackburn through Emil Rees. And Craig Forsyth has equalised for Derby at Hull. But 1-0 here to Leicester as Middlesbrough come forward, but McGree has the ball taken off his toe very neatly by Ben Nelson, and then a free kick as Target caught Deco Dovere after a neat turn right on the touchline. No yellow card for Target, but Leicester have a free kick and they have the lead. And Middlesbrough don't concede many. I think Middlesbrough, they've only conceded, 30?
11 at home, Dance.
33.
It's incredible. I think it's the best defence at home as well, so you're right. I mean, they're organised, but on set pieces like that, you have to pick a man and you say, right, you're not going to score against me. But I looked at them and they looked a little bit nervy as that ball was coming into the air, and it was a brilliant ball. But do your job defensively. Another assist for Divine Mukasa in his early stages. Here's Deco Dovere letting fly from 25 yards out, but that's a very comfortable save for Bryn right on his goal line. But well, Mukasa Watch has already provided us with an assist, Mickey Gray. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I mean, what Gary Rowett's done at Leicester City so far, could have picked up all 3 points against Stoke City, a late equaliser there, and they want to add to that if they possibly can and get out of this predicament they find themselves in the bottom 3. It's not where they should be. I know they've had points deducted, but this squad, when you look at it on paper, should be nowhere near the bottom 3. Given away again by Middlesbrough in their own half. Winks picks it up for Leicester City, just ahead of the centre circle, then fires out immediate left to Luke Thomas, has to go back to the halfway line, and Nelson, lovely ball across to Ricardo Pereira on this near side, has to go back into his own half for the goal scorer Caleb Akoli. Akoli back for Nelson, and then it would go back to the goalkeeper Asmir Begovic, 38 years young, who thumps it downfield, but it won't stay in play. Goes out of play on the far side, the Middlesbrough right for a throw, taken quickly by Callum Britton, and Ayling fires it across to Matt Target. So how do Middlesbrough respond? Newcastle have taken the lead very early on against Karabakh in the Champions League. 4 minutes gone, and Sandro Tonali has extended
the aggregate score to 7-1. Conway gets away down the left-hand side, onside as well, gets into the area, angles tight, going for the byline, pulls it back across the facing goal and just evades Alan Brown, who was running in, and then Thomas goes down, wanted a free kick, and the referee gives it, even though the assistant, who's far closer, didn't think that Whittaker had fouled Luke Thomas. 22 minutes gone, big chance for Borough to equalise, but Leicester still lead 1-0.
It's deja vu, isn't it, against Oxford, because they're getting into brilliant positions. Middlesbrough, they're playing some nice football. Love the runs from Tommy Conway in behind this back line of Leicester City, and he's patient, he bides his time, he looks for one of his teammates, but you've got to know that he's going to get to that byline, break your neck to get in that 6-yard area, and I'm talking about Morgan Whittaker here, and you've got a simple little tap in.
Stays 1-0 to the Foxes, and with this scoreline and the fact that West Brom in the early stages at home to Charlton are still at 0-0, Leicester are at the bottom 3 in the as it stands table by a point.
Long way to go, Dan.
Long way. I've done those last days in the Championship, you know, where everyone's kicking off at the same time. Need all my fingers and toes on those days.
Yeah, absolutely.
And given the way, the balmy nature of mid-table in the Championship at the moment, you would not bet against a final day where there are about, well, I think the final day last year, I think there were only 4 clubs who had nothing to play for effectively.
Yeah.
On the final day.
Remember the last day, Preston was certainly one of the sides at the bottom of the table, and they were preying on other sides' results to make sure that they stayed in the Championship, and they'd been on a terrible run, but yeah, you can never let up in the Championship. Week by week, there's always something to play for.
The Championship is an amazing division. It's got so much going for it, and it's a VAR-free zone as well. Free kick to Leicester on the halfway line. Newcastle are 2-0 up on Qarabag, and therefore 8-1 on aggregate. Joe Linton this time. They made 7 changes, but it's working for Eddie Howe tonight to really put Qarabag under even more intense pressure. Middlesbrough under pressure here, having failed to win their last 2. They're behind here to struggling Leicester City, but here's Bobby Decordova-Reid back from suspension as part of the Leicester attacking 4. Out to Mavididi, left-hand side. Goes to the left-hand corner of the area, drives for the byline and wins the corner off Callum Britton. And the Leicester fans in that far corner opposite us, delighted with what their team are showing in these opening 25 minutes. They lead 1-0 at Middlesbrough.
I tell you what, when they shift the ball around in those forward positions, and it starts off with Harry Winks in that midfield area, and you get Decordova-Reid on the ball, you can see them switching it from right to the left-hand side, and Mavididi fancies his chances in a 1v1 situation with Callum Britton, and he's getting a lot of joy right now.
So the corner kick is for Harry Winks, right in front of those Leicester fans in the southeast corner at the Riverside Stadium. Whipped into the near post, headed away by Malanda defending, but it comes back out to that far left-hand side for Harry Winks via Mavididi. It's rolled back to Mavididi. Early ball down the left-hand side of the box, but Mukasa offside on this occasion. Free kick to Middlesbrough.
And look who's over there, Dan. Sorry for jumping in, Dan.
Right.
Look who's over there in the right-back position.
Luke Ayling.
Yeah, it's crazy. You've got to know the position. If you're playing as a centre-half, you play in between those 18-yard lines. The only way you go out there is if your forward runs outside the 18-yard box. Leave it to your full-backs. Just be a centre-half. You can't trust 2 centre-halves who are drifting around everywhere, because you get split wide apart, and centre-forwards with pace will punish you.
Well, it's interesting. He's been brought back into the team tonight in place of Dale Fry, who's not injured. He's amongst the Middlesbrough substitutes this evening. So maybe a bit of a roll of the dice, tactically speaking, from Kim Hellberg. But it's not working for him in the minute. It's Gary Rowett's team who have the lead here on Talksport 2, with 25 minutes played at the Riverside. Middlesbrough in possession with Aidan Morris playing it left for Malanda. Fires the ball into target. Little flick down the left-hand side, asking McGree to give chase. And Coley, the goal scorer, decides he's just going to thump it out of play for a throw to Middlesbrough. Taken quickly by Target. Hackney, midway point of the Leicester half. Gets it back from Aidan Morris. Feeds it out to this left wing, and Target. Early ball in field is handled by Tommy Conway as he tried to control it. There's goals going in elsewhere. Early goal at St Mary's in the 8 o'clock kickoff. Southampton lead QPR by 1-0. Finnazaz and Wrexham continuing their great home form. They lead Portsmouth by 1-0 at the racecourse, and it's Sam Smith who's put the Dragons in front. Okoli collects the free kick inside his own half and chips it over the halfway line into Patson Daka, who holds it up well, fires it down the right-hand side for Ricardo Pereira, checks his run for a moment and plays it backwards to square to Decordova-Reid, and all the way back to halfway it goes. Skip picks it up from Okoli to the edge of the centre circle, well protected by Mukasa. Thomas looks to play it in behind Britton, who got a vital touch on the ball. Otherwise, Mavididi would have been away and clear down the left-hand side of the Middlesbrough penalty area, Mickey. Yeah,
nearly a wonderful ball, and they've tried it on 2 or 3 occasions, Leicester City. And I'm sure at some point it's actually going to pay off for them, because that little run from a wide player inside the fullback, and certainly with the pace that Leicester have got, they're growing in confidence. They look very good at the moment. It's Middlesbrough, the side, who look a little bit nervy, and this fella who's on the ball now, Hayden Hackney, they've got to get him on the ball further up the pitch.
Middlesbrough 0, Leicester City 1 on Talksport 2. You're home with the EFL. Okoli, the goal scorer, heads it clear for Leicester, brought down by Thomas, and half volleys it over halfway. Daka firing out to that left-hand side, does really well to control it under pressure from Malanda, and wins a throw. That's good work from Patson Daka as Preston take the lead at Swansea. Just 1 win in 8 for the Lily Whites, but Daniel Jebison's given them the lead at the Swansea.com stadium. So in the Championship, 1-1 between Blackburn and Bristol City, and Hull City and Derby. Preston 1 up, Watford Ipswich 0-0, West Brom Charlton 0-0, Wrexham 1 up, Southampton 1 up, and Leicester lead here at a relatively quiet Riverside Stadium as we approach the half-hour mark. It's back with Leicester in their own defensive third with Caleb Okoli. Gives it back to Asmir Begovic. Nearing 400. His next appearance will be his 400th in the league. Asmir Begovic.
Keepers can go on forever, can't they, Dance?
Well, I thought some left backs can play till 40. Stuart Pearce was still playing when he was approaching 40, wasn't he?
You're very true, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, he is an EFL and Premier League veteran. Is Asmir Begovic. Was at QPR last year, doing the job with Stolarczyk out. Well, he's back on the bench, but he's been out injured. But Begovic has been asked to stand in for him, bringing all his experience to bear. Whittaker trying to fire the ball through the centre of the field, getting Conway onto a run, but it's very well dealt with by the Leicester back line. And here is Okoli just in front of his own 18-yard line, being pressurised by Whittaker, so it goes back to the keeper via Ricardo Pereira. Half volleys it clear. Chest control from Decordova-Reid allowed Middlesbrough to win it back. Here's Hackney, who we've heard Mickey Gray say just now needs to be on the ball more, and further up the pitch as well. Good ball to find Alan Brown, inside right position. Britton goes on the overlap, puts a deep cross to the far post. Whittaker trying to fire it back across the face of goal, but it goes over his outstretched left leg, and it goes out of play for a Leicester throw in their right back position. Half an hour gone, Middlesbrough 0, Leicester 1. Here's Mickey Gray.
Well, it's tense in this stadium now, and it didn't really have to be after the start that Middlesbrough made in the game, but you can see the more chances that they keep missing. It just gave Leicester that little bounce, that little bit of confidence, waiting for their opportunity. And it came from that silly challenge really from Malanda, but the ball into the area from Mukasa was off the charts. Had pace on it, it had whip on it, and it just needed somebody brave enough to get on the end of it. And Okoli was the man, and since then Leicester look very, very confident. Now they're just making it very hard for Middlesbrough to break them down, getting every player behind the ball.
You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders subject to availability. Price may vary. Here comes Luke Ayling, slides the ball out to Britton. Right-hand side for Middlesbrough, down the right-hand side of the Leicester box. Clips inside Mavididi, plays it back to Brown, who tried to send the ball into the area. Cleared away. Morris gives chase and will guide the ball back to Sol Bryn, the keeper. But again, Middlesbrough got in a good position around the Leicester City 18-yard box, but the final ball wasn't forthcoming that time. When the final ball has occurred, it's not found a red shirt.
Yeah, it's not like Middlesbrough haven't got forward players who know where the back of the net is. You know, players actually playing in the starting 11. Whittaker, 11 league goals this season. Conway, 7. These players have got to show that confidence that they showed all season, and when they do get that chance, it's got to come off for them.
And Luke Ayling has just done what Mickey Gray was concerned he's been doing all game, and gave the ball away. You heard that murmur of discontent around us at the Riverside as Leicester won the ball back, admittedly inside their own half, wasn't in front of goal on this occasion, but it's not been good for Luke Ayling tonight. He's had a difficult evening.
Yeah, I mean, why is Fry not in the starting 11? Yes, they didn't win the last game, but you kept a clean sheet. Two centre-halves that know how to play alongside each other. A bit of a bizarre decision for me to put Ayling back into the starting 11 and as a centre-half. I know you said Callum Britton's been doing really well for them, but if you're going to make a change, maybe make it in a full-back positions.
Here is Aidan Morris inside his own half, swirls the ball out to Britton on the right-hand side. He did well to control that, the bouncing ball, finds Whittaker. Britton tucks the ball infield to McGree, lays it off to the halfway line. Morris there again. Ayling plays it up to halfway, and a lovely ball from Hackney. McGree sent a reverse ball through to Tommy Conway, but out comes Begovic. Smartly done from the Leicester keeper. Starting position was good and got to the ball well ahead of danger.
Yeah, sweep the keeper. That's what you want from Begovic, using his experience there. Just a little bit too much pace on the ball through there for Conway, wasn't it? But it's the right idea. Keep trying it, because if you don't keep trying, the players will stop making the runs.
Ball's out of play for a Middlesbrough throw, and they're not taking it from the right position, says referee Kitching. Back it goes to halfway. Ayling and Malanda exchange passes. Now here is Hayden Hackney down the right-hand side. It's played in field to Morgan Whittaker from the touchline. Britton falls back into his own half for Ayling once again. And he plays the ball over halfway into the feet of Riley McGree. The Australian turns away from Mabadidi, finds Hackney. Now he can drive in field into the centre of the Leicester half. Clips it out to Whittaker on the right wing. Britton on the overlap, but Whittaker's come in field. Now Hackney finds Britton right-hand side. Two waiting for a cross. Now being joined by Hackney as it's worked back to Morris. McGree plays a 1-2 at the edge of the area, gets it back, heading down the right-hand side of the box, feeds it out to Britton. Four waiting for a cross still in Middlesbrough red. In it comes, looking for Hackney. It's cleared away by the boot of Oliver Skipp, just in front of Hackney. But Middlesbrough win it back again. It's with Callum Britton. Now Aidan Morris bringing it down and charging down the right-hand side. McGree trying to turn to the right-hand corner of the box. Played in field to Hackney, 30 yards from goal. Works his way up to the edge of the box. Good ball to find it at the right-hand side of the area, and the shot goes out for a corner kick. The shot came in from Tommy Conway, and Begovic got fingertips to it. Corner kick to Middlesbrough at the north stand end. 1-0 Leicester.
Yeah, good possession from Middlesbrough around the edge of the 18-yard area of Leicester City there. Waited for their opportunity, eventually coming from Tommy Conway. He has looked lively, I have to say, albeit I think that's probably his first opportunity in the game, but they had 2 or 3 chances, Dan, to put that ball into the area. Callum Britton, and you can see the Middlesbrough players waiting inside that 6-yard box, very, very static.
Corner kick taken by Hackney from this near side, flicked on by Ayling, drops in the 6-yard box, and Okoli goes down holding his head. A clash of heads. The referee's not spotted it, now he has, because it's not just him that's gone down. There's a Middlesbrough player down as well. I think I'm not sure who it is that's gone down from Middlesbrough. It may well. Is it Callum Britton that's gone? No, he's over on the far side of the field. But Okoli's definitely the Leicester player that's gone down injured. So 2 players receiving treatment just by the 6-yard box, and there will be a delay here. And it was a proper clash of heads.
Yeah, I think it might be. I'm not quite sure. Melander's up on his feet. I thought,
or is it Alan Brown?
Him, actually. But yeah, it's better, isn't it, Dan? I mean, they got the first contact as that ball came into the area, but I do think they've got to put the crosses in a little bit more quicker. First time, if you like. Callum Britton on 2 or 3 occasions, he's put his foot on the ball. You can hear the crowd. They want that ball to go into the box to give the forward players the chance of getting themselves back on level terms. The quicker they do things, the better they look. When they slow things down, it doesn't happen for them. The Leicester players then grow in confidence. They start playing through midfield. And if Harry Winks keeps getting as much time as he's getting in that centre circle, he's going to pick the passes to those forward players, and they're going to make this a really uncomfortable night for Middlesbrough.
Elsewhere, Bristol City have turned it around at Blackburn. It's now Blackburn 1, Bristol City 2. Scott Twine, and I'm willing to bet that wasn't a tap-in for Scott Twine. He doesn't do tap-ins. They're all worldies from about 35 yards out. And York City are 2-0 up at Scunthorpe. Joe Gray with a second for York, looking for 8 straight wins. And Boston United are 2-0 up at Forest Green. Jamie Grimes with a second for the Lincolnshire side. It was Alan Brown who was down, but he's quickly back up. But Caleb Okoli's only just sitting up now for Leicester City. He's come off the worst of the two players involved in that clash of heads right in front of goal. So what that does mean is there's going to be a bit of time to add on at the end of the first half. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability, and price may vary. More live football for you tomorrow night here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. John Dunn and Chris Iwelumo will be at Bramall Lane to see how Coventry get on against Sheffield United, fresh from relegating Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday at Bramall Lane. They've got the leaders in town in South Yorkshire. And then, as well as that, Real Madrid Benfica, after the controversial first leg at the Estadio de Luz, Real Madrid host Benfica. Will Prestiani be allowed to play? He's been suspended, but Benfica have got a problem with it, and Jose Mourinho is not speaking to anybody after waxing lyrical at the end of the first leg. Thursday, we've got 3 games for you across the European competitions. I'll be with Chris Iwelumo for the second leg of Stuttgart against Celtic, and Celtic have a mountain to climb after that heavy defeat at Celtic Park a week ago. That's 5:45 on Talksport 2, followed by Nottingham Forest home game with Fenerbahce, and they're firmly in control of that game. Whilst on Talksport at 8 o'clock, Crystal Palace against Zrinjski. That was 1-1 in the first leg. Alex Crook and former Palace midfielder Darren Ambrose. And then we've got a choice of listening on Friday night for you as well, from either Premier League or Championship. A Midlands derby on Talksport. Wolves against Aston Villa. And I'll be at Ashton Gate with former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clark, because our Championship offering Friday night is Bristol City, as I've just told you, were 2-1 up at Blackburn. They're entertaining Watford tonight. Watford still 0-0 with Ipswich at the moment. And then we're into Saturday with Coventry Stoke, our 3 o'clock Championship commentary that I'll be at with Perry Groves. I said it was goalless at Watford, I'm lying. Watford 0, Ipswich 1. Sindre Egeli putting Ipswich in front after that heavy defeat at Wrexham at the weekend. And we're back underway here at the Riverside, and Messrs Brown and Okoli will be back on shortly, but Okoli's got some strapping on his head there to stem a cut or a flow of blood, maybe.
Yeah, he has, Danson. I'm just saying, as he was coming back to the halfway line, it looks like he's got blood all over his hand as well, so he's took a bit of a battering. I don't know whether he's had a bit of concussion or what, but it looks okay, thankfully. Both players are back on the pitch now.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the physios, as they do, have gone through all the concussion protocols to make sure that their respective players are okay to continue. Britton with the ball into the box, and it's deflected off Okoli, and then Hackney put it out of play. He was convinced it came off Oliver Skip last and went out for a corner, but the referee's given a goal kick to Leicester instead. So we played 39, nearly 40 minutes. There will be a fair old chunk of added time at the end of this first half, but Leicester still lead on Teesside through Callum Okoli, who's in possession now. Passes straight back to his goalkeeper Begovic, and he passes out to the left now for Ben Nelson. Good ball down the left-hand side for Luke Thomas. Tucks it in field for Divine Mukasa, who looks very, very capable. The 40 minutes I've seen of him in action live for the first time, looks a very assured young footballer, the Manchester City loanee. Pereira clips it in field from this near side the right, but it goes over the head of Decordova-Reid. Ayling fires it to the feet of Brown on halfway. Wrexham 2-0 up on Portsmouth, and it's Max Cleworth up from the back. And Hull are in front against Derby again. Ollie McBurney with the second for the Tigers. And Boston United 3-0 up at Forest Green as well. Tom Kerson's at the New Lawn with the third goal for Boston. On halfway for Leicester, here is Divine Mukasa. 2 Middlesbrough players for company, but he manages to feed it out left to Steffi Mavididi. Tried to play a ball up to the edge of the box, but a deflection helped Middlesbrough out. Brown drops his shoulder to get away from Oliver Skip, and then Whittaker under pressure from Mavididi gives it back to Britton. Ayling has it again at the edge of his 18-yard line, carrying the ball up to the centre of the half, then plays it out left to Matt Targett. Conway on a burst down the left-hand side, but Targett's not used him. It's gone back instead to Malanda, the centre half. Now Aidan Morris fires it into the feet of Britton on halfway. So the only game without a goal in the Championship is at the Hawthorns, where it's still West Brom 0, Charlton 0. Goals everywhere else, including here at the Riverside, where Middlesbrough 0, Leicester 1 is the latest score. Hull 2-1 up against Derby. Bristol City 2-1 up at Blackburn. Preston 1 up at Swansea. Ipswich 1 up at Watford. Wrexham 2-0 up against Portsmouth, and Southampton leading QPR by a 1-0 in the 8 o'clock game. McGree coming forward for Middlesbrough, down this left-hand side, plays a 1-2 with Target, moves in field, but Deckard over Reed sticking with him. Malanda picks it up now, just 10 yards inside Leicester territory. Plays a square ball to his right for Hayden Hackney. Malanda gets it back, wants an option in front of him. Not a great deal of movement, but Conway's come short and works it back to Ayling on halfway. Luke Ayling across to Callum Britton. He plays a good 1-2 with Alan Brown. Whittaker on the right-hand side wants it fired into him, but instead Britton went early to try and fire it into the box, and Leicester have won it back, and they've got a 4-on-3 here with Divine Mukasa carrying the ball forward down the centre of the field. He's caught by Ayling, and Ayling's going to get a yellow card for that challenge, and it's another Leicester free kick in a dangerous position. And Mukasa had 3 players around him, but before he released the ball, challenge came in from behind from Luke Ayling, took the youngster down. Yellow card for the Middlesbrough centre-half and a Leicester free kick.
Well, you could see it coming, couldn't you? There was always a yellow card waiting for Luke Ayling, and I know I keep harping on about it, but I just think he's not right to play centre-half. That move started in Leicester City's own half. A great little bit of skill from Mukasa to try and skip away from Luke Ayling, who chased him back towards the edge of his own 18-yard area. And then you panic a little bit. You think he's going to get his shot away. He goes to ground. He brings down Mukasa, and they've got a real chance to double the lead now with Leicester City. Middlesbrough need to sort this out. You can see now this crowd are getting a little bit tense, and if Leicester City can get a second goal, they're in dreamland.
Absolutely right. Derby have equalised for a second time at Hull 2-2. Sammy Smodics at the MKM. Hull 2, Derby 2 in the Championship. So Deckard over Reed and Mukasa standing over this free kick to the left of centre. Good 30 yards from goal. Deckard over Reed very deliberately stepping back from the ball. Mukasa 2 paces away from the ball. It is Deckard over Reed, fires it straight into the wall, comes out to Winks, who goes for goal. It was on target. Awkward shot from Harry Winks, but it was straight at Sol Bryn. Now you can hear the Middlesbrough fans urging their team forward.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to get them going. They need to get them involved in this game. Again, giving the ball away as I speak.
This time it was Alan Brown who was guilty of squandering possession, but he's been tigerish enough to win it back for Middlesbrough. Britton, good ball over halfway for Alan Brown, who tries to take it in his stride and spin, but Ben Nelson was wise to it at the back for Leicester. But Begovic's clearance goes straight out of play on the far side. 30 seconds of normal time to go in this first half. There'll be a fair amount of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first period on the way. Find out how much in just a moment from the 4th official down in front of us, Anthony Backhouse. Meantime, it's back with Hayden Hackney in the centre circle for Middlesbrough. Lovely burst between 2 Leicester players and finds Alan Brown. But Brown is robbed by Nelson. He finds Mavididi, who's going to stretch his legs and get over halfway. Daka's gone down meantime in the centre circle. Mavididi squares it to his left for Divine Mukasa, but the other 29 out there, Malanda, gets a foot in. And here come Middlesbrough as we go into 4 minutes of minimum added time at the end of this first half on Talksport 2. Leicester 1-0 up at Hackney, finds Britton down the right-hand side of the box, pulls it back to Hackney, right-hand corner of the area, fires it into the side netting at the near post. He just wanted to catch out Begovic at his near post. I think Begovic had it covered anyway, but it's a goal kick to Leicester City, who hang on to their 1-0 lead as we approach the break. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it was a very tight angle eventually, wasn't it, when a ball came back to Hayden Hackney. He's got a lot of players to go through, and he's just got to make a decision a little bit quicker for my liking. Does he keep it low and just take it across Begovic? You never know, those little deflections just pop into the path of Conway and he just slots the ball into the back of the net. But does that sum up Middlesbrough's first half, dance? They've been good on the eye to a certain degree, got themselves in some really good positions. But the final third, the quality's been really, really poor, and that's why Leicester have pounced on it, and they've just been more clinical.
6 shots to 4 in favour of Middlesbrough so far in this first half, but Leicester have got 3 of their 4 shots on target, and they lead 1-0 through Caliber Coley's header from a fierce free kick whipped in from the right-hand side by the Manchester City loanee Divine Mukasa. Now Middlesbrough have won the ball back after a slightly lazy clearance from McCauley. Hackney, lovely ball down the left-hand side of the area. Conway pulls it back, and it's swept home by Riley McGree, and Middlesbrough are level right on half-time. Riley McGree points to Tommy Conway, as if to say, that's not my goal, that's all down to you and your industry. Lovely ball from Hackney, releasing Conway, got to the dead ball line, and what an intelligent pullback for the Aussie to sweep it home. And finally Middlesbrough find the net and equalise right on the whistle. Middlesbrough 1, Leicester 1.
Oh, Caleb Okoli, what are you doing trying to play out from the back? If you can't see one of your teammates, just clear your lines. It's great for Middlesbrough in the right position, and it's actually Riley McGree who starts the move off. The little give and go, the play down the left-hand side to Tommy Conway, and again, getting to that byline, but on this occasion, he found his teammate, Riley McGree, left foot, simple little finish. I'm not saying they deserve it, Middlesbrough have been knocking on the door, just needed that bit of quality, now they have it.
Given away by Middlesbrough, but they've won a goal kick as the ball was hit by Malanda against Patson Daka. Well, he's in the goals at the minute, Riley McGree. That's 3 goals in his last 4 appearances for the Australian, and it was a very firm finish. And he's Tommy Conway again trying to get down the left-hand side, but Ricardo Pereira prevents Conway getting away. And so Leicester again, having led, have been pegged back as they were on Saturday, and McGree's been fouled, and the referee gives a free kick when all around the Riverside they wanted the advantage to be played as Hackney was breaking down the inside left channel. But instead it's a free kick to the hosts, and that will frustrate the locals. 1-1.
Oh, that's a poor decision from the referee, Andrew Kitchen. You can see Middlesbrough, yes, it is a foul, but Hayden Hackney's picked up the ball and he's driving towards that Leicester City back line, and you can hear the boos and the jeers. I think everybody's thinking the same as myself, Dan. Play on, let it play out. If nothing comes of it, blow your whistle and bring it back for a free kick. Bad decision from the referee.
Big goal for West Bromwich Albion at home to Charlton. They lead through George Campbell, and that dumps Leicester back in the bottom 3. Not just the equaliser for Middlesbrough here, but West Brom taking the lead at the Hawthorns. Free kick for Middlesbrough. We're in the 3rd minute of added time. Target swings it to the far post. Vital flick clear from Nelson, but it breaks down the right-hand side of the box for Morris. Plays it to the feet of McGree, who turned straight into Ben Nelson, who cleared it away. And out to play it goes, and that is the end of the first half. And the boos aren't for Middlesbrough's first half performance. It's more for the fact that the referee did not allow a bit of advantage to be played when it appeared that Hayden Hackney had a chance to run through on goal. Not long after Middlesbrough had equalised through Riley McGree's 3rd goal in 4 games to make it 1-1. Leicester had the lead early doors, courtesy of a whip free kick from the right from Divine Mukasa on 18 minutes that was headed home by Caleb Okoli. And Leicester have looked dangerous on the counter-attack. Middlesbrough have been a bit sloppy at times, not created as many chances as they did here against Oxford on Saturday, but at least they've scored on this occasion. At the break, it's 1-1. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it's very difficult to kind of talk about that game in the first half and think what I thought of it, because Middlesbrough looked really good. They were great possession, they got into some good areas, but that final ball was really poor, and it was like a hangover from the Oxford game, but they got their just reward in the end because they kept getting in behind. Conway's been excellent, 3 or 4 times down the left-hand side, and a wonderful little finish from McGree. But Leicester City, I mean, from wide free kick, set pieces, and when they get into that final third, they look more of a threat than Middlesbrough. Yes, the possession is all Middlesbrough's favour, but quality in the final third, Leicester have looked the better side. Work for these 2 managers to do in the second half.
Our old friend Ray Houghton always says to me, show me a goal and I'll show you a mistake. And you look at the Leicester goal, it's the lack of marking that gives Okoli a free header.
Yeah.
And with the Middlesbrough equaliser, it's a poor ball out of his own defensive third by the guy that scored that goal for Leicester.
Yeah, no, you're completely right, Dan. I mean, the Leicester came from, Malanda. He's just got to stand his ground. He brings down Decordova-Reid, which gives them the chance to put the free kick in the first place. Picasa's just whipped it into a dangerous area. And to be fair, Okoli is just braver than Luke Ayling. He wants it more and just has to direct it into the back of the net to give them the lead. But Middlesbrough kept knocking at the door. They kept pressing. I said Tommy Conway's probably been their best player in a forward position. He's got to that byline on 2 or 3 occasions. He just needed one of his teammates to realise that he was pulling the ball back towards that 6-yard area. And Riley McGree, when he was there, he's not going to miss from there with his left foot. He's 2 yards out, keeps it low, and he's got them back on level terms. But you could sense in the crowd they were a bit edgy. They needed to calm down a little bit. I think this half-time team talk from the managers, certainly Kim Helberg, to get his players going more in that final third is so vital.
As it stands, Middlesbrough are going within 2 points of the leaders, Coventry City, but having played a game more before Coventry go to Sheffield United tomorrow night live on Talksport 2. Leicester, well, they're back in the bottom three. They were out of the drop zone briefly when Okoli had given them the lead, but this scoreline coupled with West Brom's lead against Charlton means they're 3 points from safety. Maybe they'll know that when Gary Rowett gives his half-time tea talk, and that might inspire Leicester to get on the front foot and try and get all 3 points in the second half. Should be a great contest. Stay with us here on your home of the EFL. The half-time score here at the Riverside is Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 1.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Got Big McDonald's hunger? The Big Arch is here to stay. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
It's the last chance to get yourself a ticket for Wednesday's Lotto draw.
It could be you.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
I've got that feeling. Yeah, butterflies in the stomach. Yeah. My heart is racing. I'm smiling for no reason at all. Yeah. I can't think about anything else.
Well, what's their name?
It's Skoda.
With 0% APR for 3 years across the Skoda range with Solutions PCP, it's love at first drive. But this love story ends March 1st, so visit skoda.co.uk. Indemnities may be required, maximum 36-month term, Skoda Finance.
Why are you abseiling down the front of your house, Ross? You have a staircase.
I like doing things the hard way, Albert.
Try something easier, Ross. Get cheaper off-peak energy. It's available at different times, like during the day or weekends. Just get a smart meter and choose a flexible scheme or tariff.
Ooh, I could batch cook some quiche.
Perfect. With a smart meter, getting cheaper energy is easier than you think.
Eligibility varies. Action required. Schemes and tariffs available to selected customers.
Ah, Benny's parents, thanks for coming.
Hiya.
So, Benny has really blossomed this term.
You're telling me? He outgrew his bike. We sold it on eBay.
Oh, that's not quite what I meant.
It's free to sell on there.
Free to sell?
Easy too. Sold Benny's bike, your guitar, my jacket.
You sold my guitar?
Shall we talk about Benny?
When it's this easy to sell for free, you can't help but say when it's eBay. Things people love. T's and C's apply. Excludes vehicles.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Hard-hitting football coverage. Wednesday night, live championship football on Talksport 2.
Sheffield United versus Coventry City.
Fanning the flame with full match commentary from 7:45.
What a fabulous result.
Wednesday night on Talksport 2.
Great work!
Techno, full flavour football. PGA Tour, the Cognizant Classic. Thursday night from 10. Live on Talksport 2.
Blasted high into the air. Will it land softly? Oh my goodness!
As the world's golfing elite go head-to-head in Florida. Hear full hole-in-one commentary of all the action. Direct from the Palm Beach Gardens Resort.
Will it get there? Will it get there? Yes! And it does.
PGA Tour, the Cognizant Classic. Thursday night from 10. Live on Talksport 2.
Only one radio heavyweight brings you unbeatable, canvas-thumping coverage of the biggest bouts in world boxing. Talksport. Go the distance with unparalleled ringside commentary of the biggest boxing showdowns.
Unbelievable stuff at the Manchester Arena!
With two tough-talking boxing shows, Fight Night and Fight Night Extra.
The fight starts now!
Plus, get total knockout content on our world-class boxing podcasts and dedicated YouTube channel.
Swaggering, full of confidence.
Available now, and it's all for free. Talksport and Talksport 2, your home of boxing.
Hard-hitting football coverage.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app, and on your smart speaker.
An absolutely magnificent effort!
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Middlesbrough holding their line about 8 yards from goal, trying to afford a bit of space to their keeper. Bryn waits as the kick comes in, and a Coley nods it home. Leicester lead. The struggling side have their noses in front.
It's a brilliant ball. It's got so much pace on it, and he wanted it more than those Middlesbrough defenders. Look, they've been a threat on the counter-attack, Leicester City, and that is a wonderful finish.
Slightly lazy clearance from Macaulay. Hackney, lovely ball down the left-hand side of the area. Conway pulls it back, and it's swept home by Riley McGree, and Middlesbrough are level right on half-time. Welcome back to the Riverside Stadium. Ian Dancer and Mickey Gray with you on your home of the EFL Talksport 2. It is Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 1 at the break in this battle between sides at either end of the Championship table. We've got a penalty shootout competition going on the pitch with two young teams. I'm loath to mention penalty shootouts with Mickey sat next to me, but I just feel sorry for the goalkeepers in these shootouts because they're about 3'0". They're in full-size goals. But there's been some good saves, actually, haven't there? From
very
some of those,
good. Very
good. Let's run you through the score lines in the Championship. These games have reached half-time. Blackburn 1, Bristol City 2, Hull 2, Derby 2. Middlesbrough 1, Leicester 1 here, full second half commentary to come. Swansea 0, Preston 1, Watford 0, Ipswich 1, West Brom 1, Charlton 0, Wrexham 2, Portsmouth 0. And approaching half-time in the 8 o'clock kick-off, Southampton 1, QPR 0. In League 1, Bradford 1, Rotherham 0, Burton 0, Stockport 0, and Northampton 0, Port Vale 1. Jayden Stockley has just scored for Vale right on half-time. In League 2, Accrington 0, Barnet 0, and Salford 1, Shrewsbury 0. In the National League, FC Halifax Town 0, Rochdale 1, Forest Green 0, Boston 3, Scunthorpe 0, York City 2, Southend 0, Boreham Wood 1, Tamworth 1, Altrincham 0, and Wealdstone 1, Brackley Town 0. And in the Virtue Trophy quarter-final, Plymouth have just equalised at Kenilworth Road with just over 10 minutes to play. It's now Luton 1, Plymouth 1, Tegan Finn with the equaliser for the Pilgrims. And in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid went through in the tea time game, beating Club Brugge 4-1 on the day, 7-4 on aggregate. Leverkusen 0-0 at half-time with Olympiacos. That's still 2-0 to the Germans. Inter Milan 0, Bodo Glimt 0. That's still 3-1 to Bodo Glimt on aggregate from the first leg. And Newcastle 2-0 up at half-time, or approaching half-time, against Karabakh. That means they are 8-1 up on aggregate. And in the Scottish Premiership, half-time at Tannadice, Dundee United 0, Aberdeen 0. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability, price may vary. Well, the live EFL action continues tomorrow night here on Talksport 2. Borough fans will no doubt have one eye on the game at Bramall Lane as league leaders Coventry City go to Sheffield United. Sky Blues are fresh from a great week, back-to-back wins, whilst also seeing teams around them slip up. And after their 2-0 victory at West Brom on Saturday, Talksport's Joe Shannon caught up with the Coventry boss, Frank Lampard.
After such a brilliant night on Monday, it must feel really satisfying to have come here and backed that up.
Yeah, because it was the message of after Monday. It was a really, really good performance and result against a really difficult team, and then to come away, which has been a problem for us recently, and put in that level of performance. It was always going to feel different. We couldn't really high press today because of the nature of West Brom, but we had to be really at it in terms of our focus, and I can't complain. The boys are at it.
I saw you looking towards the away fans at the end. How much praise have you got for them today?
Yeah, they're amazing. They follow us everywhere with such noise and support. You know, for individual players, for the collective. And I think they understand now that we went through a tough little period where we had, you know, the standards that we've set at the start of the season, we fell below that, and then obviously you see the results. But I think they understand that this group's really going, and we can never take a win away from home for granted. And at the end, I want the fans to celebrate, I want the players to be like that, and then get back to focus. But thanks to the fans, they're amazing for us. They're a big part of what we do at home and away, and I'm pleased we can make them happy today.
And just a last one from me. Does it feel like it's been a really significant 7 days? You bounce back, you're on a winning run again, you've extended your lead, or you're not really looking at the league table at this point?
Well, you can't not look, but I know what you mean. I try not to focus. I focus on us. For the 2 games, back-to-back wins is a great thing for us, but it doesn't matter if we drop off. So the lads have had a good training time into these last couple of games, more time to train and work and, you know, get on a training pitch, and I think you can see that in the look of the group. So very pleased.
Frank Lampard with Joe Shannon after that 2-0 win that Coventry got at the Hawthorns on Saturday lunchtime. You heard that game live on Talksport 2. And on yesterday's EFL All Access show, Hugh Wozencroft was alongside the former Derby County and Scotland striker Chris Martin. And they discussed the Sky Blues' recent uplift in form.
Huge confidence boost. I think after, as Frank Lampard said there, that realising they were in a moment of a dip in form, and it's obviously about how you can come out of that. I think most teams are going to experience that, especially teams that have set such a high standard. So, but he seems calm. He seems like he's kind of that's got back to the players. Listen, relax. We're more than capable of winning games against the very top teams and against anyone in this division. And I think that game against Middlesbrough was really key against a big promotion rival and a team that were going very, very well at the time. And I think that would give them massive confidence to say, right, we're out of this kind of bad run of form and we're looking to push on now and string a few good results together.
Chris Martin chatting with Hugh Wozencroft on yesterday's EFL All Access show. Remember, you can find that as a podcast. You just search EFL All Access, or you can listen to it via the Talksport app. And Coventry's trip to Sheffield United. Live here with us tomorrow evening, John Dunn and the former Scotland striker Chris Iwelumo will be your commentary team at Bramall Lane for that one. Well, to turn the music up a touch here at the Riverside to herald the rival back onto the pitch of the Middlesbrough players. Leicester players still haven't emerged from the tunnel down beneath us. A reminder that as well as Sheffield United, Coventry tomorrow here on Talksport 2, got the second leg of that contentious Champions League playoff between Real Madrid and Benfica, with so much going on off the pitch as well as on it. Thursday night, 3 games for you here on Talksport 2. We have Stuttgart against Celtic at 5:45, followed by Nottingham Forest against Fenerbahce. Both those games in the Europa League. Whilst on Talksport, can Palace see off Zrinjski after a 1-1? Bit of a crisis club, Crystal Palace at the moment. Is Oliver Glasner going to last out the season? He's getting them into the business end of the European competitions. That's 1-1. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Talksport tomorrow night. Southampton have just taken a 2-goal lead against QPR right on half-time at St Mary's. Kuryu Matsuki with the second goal for the Saints. So they're going all right. There's a lot of away goals tonight in the Championship. And it's only now that the Leicester players come out the tunnel and get the pantomime boos from the locals. And I'm looking to see if there's any changes. Not that I can see, certainly from Middlesbrough, and Leicester are going as they were in the first half. So, as they line up, Middlesbrough in their all red with a white sash across the chest. They'll be kicking towards the south stand, Middlesbrough away to our right in the second half. Leicester in all blue, kicking to the north stand away to our left. As we sit, Mickey and I, right at the back of the west stand here at the Riverside Stadium. It'll be Tommy Conway to get us back underway, and he rolls it back to Sol Bryn, the keeper. In front of him, a back four of Britton, Ayling, Malanda and Targett. Then Brown, Morris and Hackney in midfield. Whittaker, Conway and McGree, the goal scorer for Middlesbrough, in attack. Leicester, who are defending at the moment, headed clear from the edge of their own penalty box. Begovic in goal for them. Pereira, Akoli, their goal scorer. Nelson and Thomas across the back. Winks and Skip holding, and then Dickled over Reed, Mukasa and Mavididi behind Daka up front. Lovely touch from Whittaker on this near side, and Aidan Morris swings the ball fully 40 yards across the field to Riley McGree. Plays a short 1-2 with Matt Targett. Comes in field now, does Riley McGree. Hackney takes over, inside left channel, faced up by Dickled over Reed. And then Targett plays the ball along the deck up to Brown at the edge of the area. Has to toe poke it back, or try to toe poke it back towards Targett, but went straight out of play instead for a Leicester City throw, midway point of their own half. Mickey Gray's with me tonight.
Yeah, well, it started in the same vein in the second half for Middlesbrough, didn't it? A lot of possession, eventually not really being able to break Leicester City down. They were just organised, they were disciplined. And the ball just runs out of play, but we do expect a little bit more in this second half, Dan. It was such an open game in that first 45 minutes. You can only expect the same in this second 45 minutes.
Oh, Ayling with a loose header, drops for Patson Daka, knotted just wide of the post. Bryn was beaten, he was in no man's land as Luke Ayling elected to try and head the ball back to his goalkeeper. Got it all wrong, Daka had to improvise a header from round about the 18-yard line, but he headed it the wrong side of the post, and it stays 1-1 on Talksport 2.
Well, I'm sorry for going on about the same player all of the time and criticising Dance, but I think I've got right to do it. I mean, Luke Ayling, what are you thinking? Clear your lines and stop trying to be cute and playing the ball back to your own goalkeeper and putting your side under pressure all of the time. It's a bag, and you can hear the crowd as well. They know he's making mistakes. If the manager hasn't said anything to him at half-time and he thinks he's having a good game, then he's got things wrong tonight.
I would imagine part of Gary Rowett's team talk at half-time would be isolate Luke Ayling.
Play on the weak link. You do, and exactly that at half-time, and that's exactly what he has to say, Gary Rowett.
Daka keeping the ball whilst he's on the deck, but he loses out to McGree. McGree rides the challenge of Declan over Reed, releases Conway down the left-hand side into the area, now running on the 18-yard line. Conway tries to get the shot away, but he run out of room and he run out of energy, really, and the shot lacked power, but it does go out of play for a Middlesbrough throw on the right-hand side, 1-1.
Yeah, I really like Tommy Conway. He's got great energy, he's direct, he wants to take players on. Yes, he maybe had 2 or 3 touches too many and he was looking for his teammates and there was nobody around, but so positive when he gets on that ball. It just turns forward, want to try and get into that 18-yard area. He's been bright tonight.
Burton Albion leads Stockport by a 1-0 in League One. Burton starting the night in 20th, but they've only lost one of their last 4. Tyree Shade scoring against Stockport, who start the night in 4th in the table. Ball's out of play for a Leicester City goal kick. Portsmouth get a goal back at Wrexham. It was 2-0 at half-time to the Welsh club, but Zach Swanson makes it Wrexham 2, Portsmouth 1 early in the second half in the Championship. We are your home of the EFL. Patson Daka running across the line. Great attacking play from him, and he's kept the ball in play. He's rolled Malanda coming in field, went for goal. It's actually deflected into the path of Declan Over-Reed, who's offside. Mickey Gray's arm went up long before the flag did, and a free kick goes Middlesbrough's way. But again, I think I know there's a theme developing here, Mickey Gray, but you're looking at Luke Ayling's defending that allowed Daka to get possession there.
As a defender, not just a centre half, but as a right back or a left back, as that ball's getting played up to your back line, if it's in the air, your managers will always say to you, never let the ball bounce. He's looking around, he's looking for his centre half teammate there. No, deal with it yourself. If that ball's in the air, you either get a volley away and clear it as far away from your goal as you possibly can, or you get a head on it. You cannot keep looking for Malanda to help you out when you find yourself in a little bit of trouble, because Daka's going to get in between the two of you and use the pace, and it's going to be a nervy night. It has been a nervy night for Middlesbrough. Look, when you're in those top 2 positions, things won't go your way. It's how you pull yourself out of a sticky situation. Well, at the minute, they're not. They're playing some decent football when they get into the final third without creating too much. But defensively, they don't look like a top 2 side to me.
1-1 here at the Riverside on Talksport 2. You're missing none of the action at the moment whilst Mickey and I have been chatting, because Patson Daka's been down on the deck receiving some treatment from the Leicester physios, and he's going to have to come to this near side before he can continue. Only Sheffield Wednesday have let in more goals than Leicester's 53. Just 3 clean sheets all season. They've also had 4 red cards. Only Sheffield United have more this season. But I was always thinking it was going to be both teams to score tonight in this one, and that's how it's proved. 1-1 with 50 minutes played. 5 gone in the second half then on Talksport 2. Back underway. Leicester temporarily down to 10 men whilst Daka waits to be reintroduced. It's out with Ricardo Pereira on the Leicester right. Infield it goes to Harry Winks near the halfway line. Has to give it back to Okoli inside his own half. Now Declan Over-Reed. Daka's allowed to return to the pitch, so Leicester back up to 11. And Daka being told by Mavididi, go out to the left-hand side for a minute whilst I stay here, keep our shape. And then back it goes to Asmir Begovic. Short for Skip. Plays the ball into the feet of Okoli, and he threads the ball up to halfway looking for Makassa, but it drifts away from the Manchester City loanee, and Middlesbrough have it back. Callum Britton infield for Ayling. Plays a short square pass to Matt Targett. Looks up on halfway, plays a diagonal ball looking for Alan Brown, right-hand side of the area. Important foot in from Luke Thomas, but it is a Middlesbrough throw on this near side, the right, 1-1.
Yeah, lovely ball, wasn't it, from Matt Targett? Always chasing back towards your own goal. Luke Thomas has done really well, actually, to get any contact on that ball whatsoever. But that's the ball that they need to start trying, Middlesbrough, that left to right or right to left, and willing runners to try and get on the end of it.
It is half-time at St Mary's. Incidentally, Southampton 2, QPR 0. And in the Champions League, 2-0 at half-time at St James's, just up the road from here. Newcastle 2-0 up on Karabakh, 8-1 on aggregate. Here's Callum Britton for Middlesbrough at 1-1, sliding the ball down the right-hand side of the area for Whittaker. Gives it back to Britton, and then Britton, well, there was a block pass that went behind for a goal kick. Whittaker thought about going for it, but knew or sensed he was in an offside position and had to leave it. Goal kick to Leicester, 1-1.
I don't know about you, Dance, but I thought that was a corner. It looked like a ricocheted off Luke Thomas and went behind the byline.
I thought I heard you go, ooh.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I think they've got away with one there, Leicester City. I really do. But you earn your own luck in this game, and they're certainly doing that, Leicester. They've worked so hard tonight, I have to say. At times they've been sloppy on the ball.
Now it's going to be a yellow card for Divine Mukasa after a heavy challenge on Aidan Morris. So Mukasa goes into the referee's notebook to join Luke Ayling. Goals elsewhere. Altrincham equalise at Tamworth in the National League through Jimmy Knowles. And Shrewsbury have equalised at Salford in League One. Salford 4 straight losses. And Carl Robinson was concerned last season that the heavy defeat to Manchester City in the FA Cup affected their promotion run-in. Well, they've been pegged back by Shrewsbury at the Peninsula Stadium. But that's 4 straight wins for Shrewsbury going into that. And the equaliser came from Tom Sang. Here's Callum Britton for Middlesbrough. 1-1 here at the Riverside. Flicks it down the right side of the box. Can Alan Brown keep it in? Tries to stand the cross up, but it came off him last of all. It hit Luke Thomas. And it was going out for a corner, but then it just caught Alan Brown just prior to it going over the dead ball line. Goal kick Leicester, 1-1 it stays.
A little bit of a shame there for Alan Brown. It was actually a nice move from Middlesbrough down that right-hand side from Britton and Brown. And they've done really well just to get that ball anywhere near the area, but that unfortunate ricochet did come off Brown. There wasn't too many complaints about them wanting another corner there, Middlesbrough.
Well, Middlesbrough are at least level. That goalless draw here with Oxford was their first Borough game in 9 where they'd failed to find the back of the net. And as you heard earlier, 24 shots attempted in that game here on Saturday against the U's. And they're coming forward again with Hackney. Out to the left-hand side. And it's Tommy Conway, always busy. Plays the ball out to target, level with the edge of the penalty area. Conway gets it back in field. Toe ends it away from the attentions of Mavididi. Now it's with Aidan Morris. Playing the ball in field to Hackney. Up to the edge of the area. Plays a 1-2. Not much width. Now it's being offered on the Middlesbrough right by Callum Britton. Back in field for Ayling, who just has to adjust his footing. Plays a square ball across into midfield. Gets it back from Morris. But they're all the back on the halfway line now, Middlesbrough. Burton Albion 2, Stockport County 0. Second for the Brewers in League One, and it's George Evans who's got the second for Burton Albion. Luke Thomas heads clear for Leicester, headed up further to halfway by Mavididi and gets it back from Mukasa. Neat 1 and 2 touch football between those two.
Ball.
Lovely ball in field from Mavididi, touch back from Winks, and now Mukasa might get onto it and finds Bobby Deckard-Over-Reid just outside the area. Deckard-Over-Reid passes into the box. He could have shot for goal, but the ball into the box went behind Mukasa, and Middlesbrough try and clear, but then McGree loses possession to Deckard-Over-Reid, right-hand side. Mukasa, lovely ball for Pereira on the overlap. First time ball into the near post, misses out Daka. Cleared out to the edge of the box. Again, Leicester first to the loose ball. Oliver Skipp goes down cheaply, wanted a free kick. Referee wagged his finger at him and said no. 1-1.
Well, it's like Middlesbrough have 5 minutes of possession and pressure on Leicester City, then it just completely flips on its head. But Matt Targett, he's a lucky boy because he pulled out of a challenge on the edge of his 18-yard area and it nearly got Leicester City inside Middlesbrough's 18-yard box, and Deckard-Over-Reid, who's looked really lively, just couldn't quite get his shot away.
Harry Winks is caught by Morris. Free kick to Leicester at 1-1. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders subject to availability. Price may vary. Quickly taken free kick from Mikasa down the left-hand side of the box for Skip. In front of goal and turned behind by Malanda for a Leicester corner. But quick thinking from Divine Mikasa. Skip with a willing run down the left-hand side of the box, but he couldn't find a teammate with a pullback. 1-1.
Super ball, wasn't it? Mikasa, he's certainly got an eye for a pass, but you need willing runners, and Oliver Skip's just got him behind there. It's too easy, I have to say. Brilliant from Leicester, but the defender from Middlesbrough. Players cannot switch off. It's give Leicester City the momentum now in the game over the last couple of minutes. They look like they're going to get this second goal.
Harry Winks to take the corner from down beneath us at the north stand end. Be a right-footed in-swinger for Leicester City at 1-1. Deep to the far post, headed up and away by Ayling. Skip hooks it back across goal, but that's a good confident claim by Sol Bryn inside his 6-yard box. He wants to release it quickly, but only Whittaker was up on halfway, so he's bowled it out to the left instead for Matt Targett. Now Hackney in a bit of space left-hand side, now faced up by Decordova-Reid. Rides a scything challenge from Decordova-Reid. Hackney plays it in field to Whittaker, tries to clip it back to Hackney inside the area, but he's muscled out of it brilliantly by two Leicester players. Pereira and Decordova-Reid, tag team partners there to gang up on Hayden Hackney. It ends up being a Leicester City goal kick away to our right. We've played 58 minutes on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Middlesbrough 1, Leicester 1. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to see from Hayden Hackney from the first whistle, not the 53rd minute of this game. Picking up that ball and driving towards that back line of Leicester City. The little give and go. It was just unfortunate. He ran out of steam in the end, and it was an easy defend by Decordova-Reid and Pereira.
Here's Winks on halfway for Leicester. Slides it out to the right-hand side where it is with Ricardo Pereira. But he's got two Middlesbrough players for company. Elects to go back and do his own half. Decordova-Reid quite deep at the moment. Receives it in the right-back position from Skip. Winks turns it up to Ricardo Pereira, who was caught late by Targett, but the referee allows advantage because Decordova-Reid was bringing it infield. He's won a throw. No further action taken against Targett for that strong challenge on the right-hand side. Who blinks first from the bench, Mickey Gray? Middlesbrough or Leicester?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Wouldn't surprise me when we get to that 60-minute mark if both sides actually make some changes just to freshen it up and maybe come up with some different ideas.
I think the two players that Gary Rowett wanted back in the squad tonight who weren't available at Stoke, Jordan Ayew and Abdul Fattah, are being readied.
Yeah, well, you can understand that. Bit of energy and a bit of experience as well with Ayew. Maybe hold the ball up in that final third just to give Leicester City the opportunity of getting around Middlesbrough's 18-yard area.
Ayling under pressure from Mikasa, gets it back to Sol Bryn, who clears hurriedly downfield. You can just feel that tension around the Riverside when Ayling decides to turn away rather than just hitting a long ball downfield or looking progressively for a teammate.
You certainly can.
They're all getting it from Mickey Gray. He started it, and they're all joining in with you, Mick.
Look, when I see centre-halves, I think, there's certain players in certain positions you go and influence the game. Not as a centre-half. Do your job. Head it, kick it, clear your lines. He's not doing it.
Alan Brown, right-hand side for Middlesbrough at 1-1, level with the 18-yard line, rolls it back to Britton. Now Morris takes over. Has to go back towards the halfway line. Ayling plays it down this near side to the right wing. Britton just knocks it intelligently back in field with the outside of his boot for Malanda. Ayling again. Short pass for Callum Britton. And again, he has to go in field for Malanda. Targett immediately, the space is closed down in front of him by Decordova-Reid. And Targett elects to go back to his goalkeeper as Decordova-Reid was still pressurising, as is Patson Daka against the goalkeeper Sol Bryn. And his clearest downfield finds Ricardo Pereira's head. Here come Leicester down the right-hand side with Ricardo Pereira. Tries to play a 1-2 with Patson Daka. Doesn't come off, but Leicester win back the second ball. Harry Winks down the right-hand side of the box. Pulls the ball back to just outside the area. Luke Thomas chests it down. Volleys it goalwards, and it's deflected out for a corner kick off two Middlesbrough players. 1-1. Leicester corner just past the hour. And they are about to bring on those two players who I mentioned, Abdul Fattah and Jordan Ayew. Will they come on before the corner kick is taken? Gary Rowett just giving some final instructions. I think they may well make the changes before the kick is taken. Certainly they're stripped and ready, and up goes the board. And it will be Patson Daka for Ayew. That's a fairly obvious change there. And who's coming off to allow Fatawu to come on. The fourth official, Anthony Backhouse, just changing the port, and it's Decordova Reid, who is back in the side tonight after suspension, who's done his job for an hour or so, and so Fatawu is on for him, and it's a natural swap in terms of position, Mickey Gray.
Yeah, again, I just said talk about a little bit of different energy. With Ayew, you're getting the experience, you're getting somebody who knows where the goals are. Fatawu, just let him loose, let him go and express himself, but certainly the impetus right now was with Leicester City. Harry Winks is starting to dictate play in that central area, and he's trying to break in towards the final third to try and make something happen for his side, and they've got a good opportunity here from the corner.
Which will be taken by Harry Winks at the north stand end away to our left. Right-footed in swinger. Plays it short actually to the left-hand corner of the box, and Mavididi, who is in space. Jockeying for position, plays it in field to Mukasa. Mukasa actually runs into Ayling. Good defending this time from Ayling, and he quickly sends it up to halfway, asking Whittaker to give chase, but Ricardo Pereira is equal to it and guides it back to Luke Thomas. Comebacks on for Karabakh. It's 8-2 on aggregate. No, it's not. Newcastle have just scored a third on the night, so it was 2-1 for a moment with Camilo Duran, but Newcastle have just gone 3-1 up in the Champions League. Come back off.
That has to be one of the biggest deficits in Champions League history, I would have thought. I'm sure I've seen somebody scored 10 before over the two legs.
I'll imagine my producer Will is looking right now as to what the biggest aggregate scores are in Champions League history, particularly in knockout ties.
Yeah, can't be far away.
8-2 is the current aggregate score in Newcastle's favour. And it was Sven Botman back in the side tonight who's got that third goal for the Toonarby. Double change being readied by Middlesbrough after that double change for Leicester. But here come the Foxes, level with the 18-yard line, left-hand side. Mavididi pulls it back to around the penalty spot, just evades Fatawu, but he'll bring it down now. Middlesbrough players just stood still and waited for the ball to come in. Fatawu with the ball into the near post, but that's well claimed. Low down at his near post by Middlesbrough keeper Sol Bryn. 1-1, 63 minutes gone on Talksport 2.
This is one of them nights, Danson. We've seen it from sides so many times that if you get something from the game at the end of it, you say, well, look, that was an off day. Let's just take what we get from the game. At the moment, Middlesbrough are picking up a point. It might be a vital point for them because they've been poor tonight. They're at 6s and 7s. They look scrappy. They're giving the ball away. Well, plenty of time to go, and they might actually pick up all 3 points. But this has been a game where Leicester have taken the game to Middlesbrough, put them under pressure, but everybody around Middlesbrough at the top of the table thinking they've gone, last couple of games, can't score goals, look a little bit nervy. Let's capitalise on that.
Burton 3-0 up on Stockport now, pulling clear of trouble as things stand, the Brewers. Tyree Shade with his second, Burton's third against high-flying Stockport. Foul on Tommy Conway as he drifted in field, and it will be a free kick to Middlesbrough. But here come the changes, and David Strelic and Jeremy Sarmiento are coming on. Sarmiento on loan, not long arrived here at Middlesbrough on a loan spell from Brighton and Hove Albion. He was at Cremonese for the first half of the season in Italy, Sarmiento. But the players coming off are Alan Brown and Morgan Whittaker making way. Mickey Gray, what do you make of those changes?
Yeah, it's not really been their night tonight. Whittaker's really struggled to get involved in the game. I know Alan Brown looked a little bit more lively in the second half, but can't really count on my hands too many times where he's influenced the game, so I can understand those changes. Sarmiento, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. You know, he's got ability, he's got an eye for goal, and I'm sure that Middlesbrough needs something like that at the moment. Kiel Hellberg will be hoping that Sarmiento can be the match winner for his team.
Oh, I've seen him score some worldies, Jeremy Sarmiento. I think when he was on loan at West Brom, he scored an absolute fizzer at Cardiff City a couple of seasons ago when he was on loan in the West Midlands. But he's on loan on Teesside now, and he's waiting for this free kick to be sent into the area. Targett and Hackney standing over it. It's just to the left of centre, in the centre of the Leicester half. Targett floats it out to the right wing where Ayling brings it down. Plenty waiting for a cross. Ayling wins a corner off Luke Thomas at the south stand end. 1-1 with a quarter of the game to go on Talksport 2.
Yeah, it wasn't the best free kick in the world, was it, from Targett? With that left foot of his, you would think he would try and put it in towards that penalty spot. Evaded everybody but Luke Ayling, Well, eventually got something out of it, but the pressure's coming now, and it's Middlesbrough over the last minute or so.
Hackney's corner from the right into the near post, just over the head of Ayling. They're trying to keep it down in the box, Middlesbrough. Target fires it into the 6-yard line. Ayu's going to prevent the corner on the left-hand side of the Leicester box. Turns away from Hackney. Bravely done from Jordan Ayew. Could have been dispossessed there in a very dangerous position. And he's still holding on to the ball by the corner flag like it's the 91st minute and Leicester are winning. He's given it away. Ayling swirls to cross him, but it was too high for Tommy Conway trying to get his head on it. Leicester can't get it clear. Bit of a spell here for Middlesbrough.
Certainly is.
Matt Target with a diagonal ball looking for Hackney on this near side. Takes it on his chest. Right wing up against Thomas. Tries to get half a yard. Wins another corner for Borough. They're turning the screw here, the hosts.
Yeah, they've been waiting for this moment, Middlesbrough, to get the crowd involved in the game. Starting to put a little bit of pressure on Leicester City, but when you're on top in games in the Championship, you have to make it count.
Southampton 3-0 up on QPR. Kuryu Matsuki with a second for him in the 8 o'clock kickoff. Hackney's corner, it's low and flat and poor actually, but put straight out of play by Mavididi, who turned his back on it and just came off the outside of his boot. That wasn't what we'd expect from Hayden
it has
Hackney.
To be better from Hagen Hackney. Look at short corner here
for Aidan Morris down the right-hand side of the box, gives it back to Hackney. Quick exchange of passes. Aidan Morris has it again, approaching the right-hand corner of the area, looking for an option. Chips it in with his left foot, headed out of the area by Luke Thomas, back defending. Ayling loses the battle with Mavididi just inside the Leicester half of the field, but then Aidan Morris steps in, runs into trouble. Mavididi again in strongly. Winks gets away from his man. Toe pokes the ball in field, and it's Ricardo Pereira. Sweeps it out to Fatawu, his first involvement since coming on for Leicester. Plays a ball along the deck to find Ayew. Left-hand corner of the area. Ayew into the box now. He's got one or two backpedaling. Tries to play it into the near post, but it's deflected out to Mavididi. Now Thomas takes over. Gives it back to Ayew, level with the penalty area. Mavididi plays a ball into the box. It's comfortably cleared by McGree and then flicked down the right-hand side, but Conway can't keep it in play. Come back on. Newcastle 3, Karabakh 2. Elvin Kafarkuliev. I hope I've said that right. Gets Karabakh another goal at St James's Park. 3-2. 1-1 here on Talksport 2. As we approach the final 20 minutes of the game. Here is Jordan Ayew, fresh on as a substitute, trying to win a corner. He's won a corner off Callum Britton on this near side. And just a silence falls over the Riverside Stadium. They've had that 4 or 5 minutes, Mickey Gray, of trying to pressurise the back line. And now Leicester will take their time to get this corner into the box.
Yeah, they will. I have to say the two substitutes from Leicester City have worked really well. Jordan Ayew being the man he's been involved a lot. He's got himself into some good positions. He's strong, as I mentioned. He will hold the ball up. He'll use that experience, as he just did then, to win that corner for his side. And they're starting to pack that 18-yard area now.
Here it comes from Harry Winks from this near side. Right to the crossbar, and Bryn had to punch with his right fist to get it clear. Back to Winks again. Works it back to Mavididi. Rides the challenge of Hackney. Keeps his feet, and then he gets fouled, but the referee pulls play back for the original foul by Hayden Hackney on Steffi Mavididi. And a chance for Leicester again to put the ball into the box, but this time from a free kick from this near side, the left.
Why did he not do that in the first half for Middlesbrough? That's the referee, Andrew Kitchen. Mavididi's done well there to get away from Hackney, but he tried to play on. Yes, it was very quick, but the second foul, he's gone to ground. Nothing was coming of it, so he then blew the whistle. He should have done that in the first half.
That's why the boos rang round the Riverside at the break, specifically for the referee. But here's the free kick from Mukasa. Again, played in with pace, deep to the far post. Can Fatawu keep it in play and prevent it going out? He can. Down by the corner flag, right-hand side. Fatawu whips the ball in brilliantly to the far post, and it goes beyond everybody. And out of play for a goal kick. What a wicked cross that was from Abdul Fatawu. But it evaded everybody in blue and red, and it's a goal kick, 1-1.
What a ball from Fatawu. It's undefendable, really, isn't it? And I think you look at Solomon Bryn in that Middlesbrough goal. I think he was just relieved it went past his far post. But just moments before that, again, Mukasa with a free kick. He's put it into the area with that whip and that pace again. They're dangerous from set pieces, Leicester.
Now Middlesbrough trying to come forward. Target trying to release Conway inside the area. Well defended by Callum Britton. Charlton equalise at West Brom, 1-1. Lyndon Dykes gets the equaliser for the Addicts. So all square in the two games involving the sides either side of the dotted line at the relegation zone in the Championship. Leicester 1-1 here with Middlesbrough. Is it going to be 2 draws in a row for Gary Rowett as he starts his tenure as Leicester manager? But with the substitutions they've made, can they try and force a victory? They look like they're trying to get themselves in front. They're not sitting back on the 1-1, are they, Mickey Gray?
No, I don't think both sides are. They're certainly going for it. They're saying it's just that little bit of quality. And if somebody's got that bit of quality in the final third, he might be taking all 3 points from this game.
Ayling again carrying the ball forward, but again losing out, but not in such a dangerous position this time. But he's out of position, and he's bailed out by Aidan Morris on halfway. Bodo Glimt go 1-0 up at Inter Milan. They're going through. They're knocking out Inter Milan in the Champions League. Now down the right-hand side, Sarmiento, his first real involvement for Middlesbrough. Hackney down the right-hand side of the box for Britton, into the near post and turned wide. Strelec flying in at the near post, couldn't get the contact he wanted, and it went behind for a goal kick to Leicester City, 1-1.
Well, a good move from Middlesbrough. Again, it's quick and precise when they get it down this right-hand side. They give and go. The whip into the area from Callum Britton, and Strelec, who's just came onto the pitch there. He's just trying to get in front of his marker. It's a really tight angle, but a very good cross into the box.
Sheffield United Coventry is our live game tomorrow night on Talksport 2 from Bramall Lane. How close will Middlesbrough be to the Sky Blues at kickoff? As it stands, it's only 2 points behind. They can get themselves level with Coventry if they get all 3 here, Middlesbrough. That's why the points are so important at both ends of the table.
Yeah, and Ipswich winning as well tonight, Dance, whether it stays the same. I mean, all the sides around Middlesbrough at the moment to be delighted, whether it's a draw or a defeat. You're always hoping that the sides around you are dropping points.
That's right. Joe Rebo's about to come on for Leicester as well. He's on loan from Southampton, former Rangers man. He's going to get a few minutes under Gary Rowett here. Just over a quarter of an hour to go. It's a game there to be won for either the Teesiders or the Foxes. 1-1 on Talksport 2. Luke Ayling coming forward at pace with the ball at his feet up to the halfway line, not being pressurised on this occasion. Gives it that left to Target. And now McGree leaves it for Morris. Target gives it back to Aidan Morris, just over the halfway line here. Hackney next to the centre circle, faced up by Mukasa. Gives it back left to Morris and back out to the far left-hand side, and Target fired it in early. Might reach McGree, does. Hackney trying to twist and turn 25 yards from goal. Loses out, but then gets it back again. Great work down the left-hand side of the area. McGree gets the shot away and it's wide of the post. Snap shot from the Aussie inside the D, and it just wouldn't curl inside of the post for him. Goal kick, 1-1.
Yeah, he fancies his second goal tonight, doesn't he, Riley McGree? Good play again from Hayden Hackley. It's not rocket science, isn't it? Whenever they get Hackney on the ball in that final third, things start to happen for Middlesbrough. The manager's got to go to him. Kill Hellberger's got to say to him, look, just stay up the pitch a little bit higher and get yourself on the ball in between the lines. And he gets Middlesbrough a ticket because you can see everybody's looking to try and get the ball off him. And that little shove to the right-hand side there from McGree. Great strike. Unfortunate for him. He just can't hit the target.
Aribo on for Leicester. Mavadidi off. Quarter of an hour to play. Southampton go 4-0 up on QPR. Leo Cienza, their talented Brazilian midfielder, gets the fourth. And Hull City back in front against Derby. What a game of the MKM. 3-2 to Hull City now. Remember, Derby got the best away form in the Championship. Although they lost at Watford, John Eustace's old club, on Saturday. And they're behind in the East Riding of Yorkshire. Just further up the coast here at the Riverside, it is Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 1. Here is Matt Target for the hosts, playing it up to McGree, the goal scorer, who got Middlesbrough level right on half-time. Aidan Morris has to pick the ball up from the edge of his own penalty area, splitting the two centre-halves, rolls it out left to Target, but he's got Fatawu watching his every move. Here is Malanda, the centre-half, looking to thread it along the deck for Sarmiento. Vital interception at the last from Ben Nelson. You heard the gasps from the crowd. That ball from Malanda almost snuck through to get Sarmiento away.
Yeah, it did. Just poked out a leg, didn't he, Ben Nelson? really good, staying switched on. He's been organised tonight alongside of Coley and that.
Now Sarmiento's drifted out to the left-hand side and forced a Coley to put the ball out of play for a Borough throw. Level with the 18-yard line, left-hand side, taken quickly by Sarmiento. Back down the touchline for Matt Targett. Now Morris finds Hackney. Hackney lays it off to Ayling just in front of the centre circle. He comes forward and then slides it out to the right wing and Callum Britton. Britton has got Luke Thomas backpedaling, goes for the dead ball line, pulls it across the near post and Strelic there again. This time he wins a corner as he didn't get the final touch as it went behind. 1-1, corner to Middlesbrough.
Well, it's anybody's to win this game. It's such an open game of football. And Middlesbrough at times look really threatening down this right-hand side. Strelic's just made a couple of nice little runs.
Another short corner from Hayden Hackney to Morris. Now Sarmiento backheels it back into the path of Hackney. Morris takes over near the right-hand corner of the penalty box. And then Hackney elects to go back into the centre of the half and Callum Britton. Waiting for the ball to go into the area, those centre-halves of Middlesbrough. Now Morris sends it into the edge of the box. It goes past Melander. Conway on the spin. Hits it from around the edge of the area, but gets it awfully wrong and it goes over the bar. It's all going horribly wrong for Salford City. Heading for 5 straight defeats. Now Shrewsbury, 2-1 up at the Peninsula. Looking for 5 straight wins themselves, the Shrews. Will Boyle with the second for them. And Ipswich, 2-0 up at Watford now. George Hurst gets the second goal for Ipswich. So Hull leading, Ipswich leading. Borough only drawing here. So Ipswich, with 2 games in hand on Middlesbrough, would be 6 points behind them, and so would Hull. But they've played 33 games, so they're only 1 game in hand on Middlesbrough. It's getting tight at the top and at the bottom. But here come Leicester. Fatawu turns inside the middle of the half, plays the ball up to the edge of the area. Aribo trying to get the ball out of his feet, lays it back to Thomas, clips it into the air and the chance has gone. It's a poor ball in from Luke Thomas and goes straight out of play for a Middlesbrough goal kick. But that was suddenly a swift counter-attack from the Foxes. 1-1.
It was, and it was a bit of a waste, wasn't it, from Luke Thomas? You can see the reaction from Jordan Ayew. He just needed that little floater ball in towards the penalty area. They worked it well. Leicester City from right to left. Fatawu involved yet again. He's looked lively, but Ayew, he's still having a go at Thomas. He needed a better ball into the box.
1-1. Middlesbrough play the ball up to halfway, but it's a poor touch from McGree. Allows Aribo to win it back for Leicester. But then Thomas's clearance is intercepted by Sarmiento, and he's away down the inside right channel. Thomas gets back at him. Does well, actually, the Leicester left back. And then Skip clears. But only as far as Hackney. Down the right-hand side of the box. Plays the ball into the area, headed away by Nelson. Only as far as Sarmiento. McGree trying to make space for a shot at the edge of the D. Can't do so. Rolls it left for Targett. And then he plays it out wide right for Callum Britton. Is he going to steer the ball into the box? He's holding on to it. Driving for the dead ball line. Chips it to the far post. The heads go up. McGree can't get the contact. It was good defending by Calabacoli. And then Fatawu can't prevent the corner kick. Middlesbrough will have the corner over on the far side of the field. 1-1. With 10 minutes to go on Talksport 2.
Well, this crowd are getting behind the home side again, Middlesbrough, because they're knocking on the door. The build-up play, you can't fault it. It's very good. The movement's excellent. It's that final ball into the area. McGree just needed to be a couple of inches taller to get behind his marker.
So the corner kick from Hackney in front of the Leicester fans into the near post, headed across the face of goal by Calabacoli. Or did it come off a Middlesbrough player? Because they're not running after it. It did come off a Middlesbrough player last of all. So it will be a goal kick. Accrington Stanley 0, Barnet 1 in one of the League 2 games tonight. Kabongo Shimanga for Barnet, who've not won in their last 3 games. Mid-table clash there in League 2 that Barnet are ahead in. Tamworth 4, Altrincham 1 in the National League. It's going to be a first win in 7 for Tamworth. 1-1 here at the Riverside. Chipped forward by Hackney. McGree all alone in the area, trying to get a knockdown for a teammate. And he felt he was fouled by Ben Nelson, but the referee was having none of it.
I think he was waiting for a little bit of contact there, just a little bit high from McGree. He's up in the air, and as the challenge comes in, yes, there's contact, but not enough for a penalty, not in a game like this.
Now, Jordan Ayew picks it up left-hand side. Good first touch. He's got 2 Middlesbrough players jockeying him. So he goes back into his own half for Oliver Skip. Now, Harry Winks Plays a neat ball over halfway into the feet of Mukasa. Lays it off for Ricardo Pereira. Early ball for Fatawu. Right-hand side of the far side of the field for Leicester. Cuts in field for Fatawu. Swings the ball into the area, but it's comfortably caught inside his 6-yard area by Sol Bryn. 1-1.
Yeah, always drifting away from Jordan Ayew. From Fatawu, really good play to get away from two markers, but as he whipped that ball into the area, it was always going to go into the hands of Solomon Bryn. Jordan Ayew, willing runner, he does well at holding the ball up, but sometimes you just got to try and break your neck to get in towards that penalty spot. A little bit of contact and go and win the game for your team.
8 minutes to go. 1-1 on Talksport 2. Down the right-hand side comes Callum Britton from Middlesbrough. Swings an early ball into the area. Well defended at the near post by Callum Bacoli. Only Strelic was there really, but he still had to make the interception and did it well. Dale Fry ready to come on for Middlesbrough. And it's going to be done now. And who's he coming on for? Well, wouldn't you know it, it's Luke Ayling. And Mickey Gray throws his arms up.
Look, it's very difficult. It's easy from where we're sat, Dance. Football's easy. You don't have to run around and make those decisions. But it's not been his best night, I have to say, Luke Ayling. I do wonder why they made that change at the start of the game to play Luke Ayling as a centre-half. I think if you're going to play him, you have to play him as a right-back. Look, he'll have better days, I'm sure he will. They're obviously having a decent season because Middlesbrough have been absolutely flying this season, but this is maybe one for him to forget.
So Fry is on, and his first job is to clear the ball under pressure from Ayew. Does well to find Callum Britton. That's the sort of no-nonsense thing that Mickey Gray's been looking for from the right-sided centre-half of Middlesbrough all night. On halfway, it's with Tommy Conway. Fires it into the centre circle for Morris. Good early ball for Riley McGree, who's getting up to the edge of the area. The Australian fires it goals and it's blocked by Akoli. McGree onto the follow-up, shoots straight at Begovic. Comes back to McGree again. Right-hand side of the area, support from Callum Britton. Tucks it infield to Hayden Hackney. Down the right-hand side of the box, Britton pulls it back from the dead ball line, and it's fired goalwards by Strelic and Morris, and it stays out and goes out of play for a Middlesbrough throw on the left-hand side. 1-1.
Beautiful little pass, wasn't it, from Hayden Hackney through the legs of one of the Leicester City defenders. But again, Callum Britton in the right place, put 3 or 4 low balls in towards that near post. What a chance that was for Morris.
Middlesbrough coming forward again. We've got 6 minutes of normal time to play. Hull are 4-2 up on Derby now. Points may be safe for the Tigers. Lewis Kumas, 1-1 here. Game to be won from either side, but it's Middlesbrough who are pressing at the moment. Aidan Morris forced to go back in field to Hayden Hackney. Just to the left of the centre circle. Not much movement in front of him. Plays a square ball to Fry. Fry shovels it out to Callum Britton. Again, picking it up on the right-hand side. Right-hand corner of the area. Steps inside and then looks for the run down the side of the box to Sarmiento, but overhit the pass. It's well defended by Leicester City, and they've earned a goal kick out of it. 1-1.
Yeah, he just staggered his run a little bit, Sarmiento. I didn't know whether Callum Britton was going to take the shot on with his weaker left foot. He's done really well to chop inside onto his left foot. But just be positive. Try and get your shot away. Don't try and play that intricate pass into Sarmiento. Keep the pressure on.
1-1 here. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's order delivery on the McDonald's app. From 11 a.m. it's 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary. Southampton 5. QPR 0. James Bree gets the 5th for Southampton, who started the night in 11th, 7 unbeaten. It's going to be 8 unbeaten for Tonda Eckhart and his Saints after a bit of a blip early in the new year. 1-1 here. 5 minutes of normal time to go on Talksport 2. Middlesbrough coming forward again with Callum Britton seeing a lot of the ball on this near side, the Middlesbrough right. But this time he's forced to go infield by Joe Aribo. Gives it to Fry. Now Morris picks it up on halfway for the Borough. 2 players calling for it on the left-hand side. Conway and Targett. And Morris finds Targett. Lovely ball. Left-hand corner of the box. Tries to send it into the area, but it's blocked at source by Pereira, who's now trying to get the ball away from Tommy Conway. Does well. Feeds it down the right-hand side for Divine Mukasa. Mukasa holding it up inside his own half, but then treads on the ball. Targett can win it back for Middlesbrough. Morris gets his head up, sees what's ahead of him as he gets just over the halfway line. Hackney loses out, he was going to ground, didn't like the pass he got from Morris, and now Leicester have it back, and Skip trying to launch a counter-attack. Good pace from Oliver Skip as he gets to the centre of the Middlesbrough half, plays it out left for Jordan Ayew. Ayew He's got Dale Fry backpedaling. Ayew's going to go for goal, but it's straight at Solbrin. Comfortable save at his near post for the Middlesbrough keeper, 1-1.
Well, I mean, they've given the opportunity, Ayew, to get himself into the 18-yard area there. Yes, he got no sting on his shot, but I keep saying that this is anybody's to win. It's such an open game of football. You can urge, or you can hear the Middlesbrough supporters urging their side to win this game. They're the home side. They've got to take the game to Leicester when they get the chance, but don't leave yourself isolated at the back.
Callum Britton tucks the ball back to Dale Fry, just inside his own half. Now Malanda being pressurised by Mukasa. That's a poor crossfield ball for Target, and Fatawu is far quicker and actually protects the ball, lets it go out for a throw-in. And they're going to make a change here at Leicester. They're going to bring on Lewis Page, the 17-year-old who's come in from the academy and made nearly 20 appearances for Leicester in this debut season. And it is Divine Mukasa that's going to make way. One youngster for another.
Yeah, he's in no hurry to come off the pitch, is he, Mukasa? Well, he's not let anybody down tonight. He's had a very good game. Sloppy at times, but what a ball into the area to create the first goal for Leicester City. And I think Gary Rowell will be thrilled to pieces with his performance. Give absolutely every ounce of energy he has tonight. And it was a high five as he was coming off the pitch there. But looking forward to seeing Page. Not many minutes, but it's minutes where you just pick up that little bit of experience.
So a throw-in for Leicester City as we approach 88 minutes here at the Riverside Stadium on Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. The leaders, Coventry at Sheffield United, tomorrow night, live here on Talksport 2. But what of Middlesbrough trying to chase Coventry down? As it stands, they're going to be 2 points behind. They wanted to be level on points at the end of tonight. And they have the ball, but deep inside their own half, Middlesbrough. And Britton wins a throw off Lewis Page. But they're running out of time here, the Teessiders. Sarmiento chests the ball down and brings it infield. Rise the challenger skip. Tries to get away from Winks, but Jordan Ayew, strong for Leicester. Wins it back midway point of the Middlesbrough half. Ayew drifting out to the left-hand side. Page further down the left. Tries to win a corner off Callum Britton, but can't do so. Bodo Glimt 2-0 up at Inter Milan. Goodness me, they're not just going through, they're going through at a canter at the San Siro. It's going to be 5-1 on aggregate.
Wow, that is incredible. Good side, though, I have to say, Dance.
They are, and they've had all that break, because, of course, you know, the Arctic Circle, they don't play football in the winter, so they're refreshed, and boy, are they showing it against one of the Italian giants. FC Halifax Town 1, Rochdale 2. Rochdale, the leader's still ahead, but William Harris has got one back for the Shamen. Ball's back with Oliver Skipp. In the last minute of normal time, Winks plays the ball up to the edge of the Middlesbrough area. Ayew gets shoved in the back by Malanda. Free kick to Leicester. Might just be too far out for a shot at goal. I don't know what you think, Mickey Gray, but it's dead centre, about 35 yards from goal for Leicester City at 1-1.
I agree with you, Dance, yeah, but it's a silly foul again, isn't it? Malanda, he's done it on a couple of occasions, hasn't he? He's wanting to impress, but at times you've just got to stand your ground as a centre-half. He's playing against a wily experienced guy there in Jordan Ayew. As soon as he feels that contact and the ball doesn't get away from him, he's going to go to ground. It is a little bit too far away from the Middlesbrough goal. You're right, but Harry Winks stood over the top of it. Time running out. This is a big opportunity for Leicester.
We're going into 5 minutes of minimum added time. We're into that now. On TalkSport 2. Are we to get a winner at the Riverside for either the team in red or in blue? It's Leicester who had the free kick just past the midway point of the Middlesbrough half. Winks will just play it along the deck, left-hand side to Page, level with the 18-yard line, rolls his foot on the ball, hits it against Sarmiento to win Leicester a throw. Mickey Gray throws his hands up in frustration.
Now, I think when you get to this point in a game, Dance, put the ball in the box. Dink it over that back line of Middlesbrough, and you never know what can happen.
Well,
a ricochet.
Don't forget they've got a long throw here in Luke Thomas. He's only really had one attempt for a long throw, and it was plenty of distance on it. Let's see what he can do here with this long throw. Okoli waiting on the 6-yard line. He might be the one to get the touch. Nelson's there as well. In it comes from Thomas, low and flat, headed straight away and out of play though by Dale Fry, back from whence it came. Another long throw on the way for Leicester City, 1-1.
Yeah, good defending from Dale Fry. Centre-half just wants to clear his lines. Very good, kept his position well.
So another long throw to come from this near side, the Leicester City left. And Luke Thomas Good 6 or 7 pace run up, hurls it in front of goal, and it's headed up in the air by Aribo. Didn't know much about it, but it went out of play for a corner kick. Went off for Middlesbrough head last of all. Not many Leicester players were appealing for a corner, but the referee had eagle eyes, and so did Mickey Gray, I think, to my left, 1-1.
Yeah, that's Aribo. He's just putting his hand up to say, it didn't come off me last, and that pressure's mounting now from Leicester, and you can feel the nerves a little bit from those Middlesbrough players. They just want to get to that full-time whistle and get something out of this game.
In to get one back against Bodo Glimt, but it may be too little too late from Alessandro Bastoni. It is 5-2 on aggregate to Bodo Glimt. Here's Harry Winks with a late corner for Leicester. 2 minutes of added time have gone. Winks, he puts it straight out of play. Wow. It went out of play before it hit the near post.
Oh, Harry Winks. Somebody who's got so much quality as well. He's had a very good game tonight, Dance, as well. You cannot be doing that from corners.
Middlesbrough slided up to the halfway line, and Callum Britton plays the ball through the legs of Winks to find Sarmiento, but he's having to go back into his own half. Fry plays a square ball in field for Morris, who's dropped deep to pick up possession for Middlesbrough. Now Malanda shovels it out to the left-hand side and Target just over halfway. Hackney wants to pick it up. Gets his head up, starts driving forward. Plays into the feet of McGree. Well intercepted by Ricardo Pereira. Here come Leicester. Poor ball by Pereira. Actually, Fry just left it alone, and Leicester won it back. Pereira sends it out to Fatawu. Right-hand side, up against Target. Good ball in field. Ricardo Pereira's continued his run. Lofts it into the box. And the keeper and Callum Britton almost got in the middle. Well, they did get in the middle, but Britton's header went up in the air and Bryn could claim it. Dear, oh dear.
Your heart's in mouth time.
Nearly a comedy of errors at the back there. Meantime, Leicester won it back. Swansea equalised against Preston. 1-1 in added time. Liam Cullen may have won a point for the Swans. Ball's back with Sol Bryn. We've played 3 minutes of the minimum 5 that have been added on here at the Riverside Stadium. Still 1-1, as it was at half-time between Middlesbrough and Leicester. Matt Target plays the ball in field. Riley McGree takes a touch. Strelic made a run ahead of him, but McGree looking to this near side. First for Callum Britton. Sarmiento hugging this near touchline. Picks it up now. Level with the 18-yard line. Driving at Thomas. Fires it across the edge of the area. McGree takes a touch. It's blocked. Did it come off the arm of Oliver Skipp? No, says the referee. Fry keeps it alive for Middlesbrough. Work back to Malanda, who sent it back out to this near side. The Middlesbrough right, and Callum Britton up to the edge of the area. It's Aidan Morris trying to go past Skipp to the dead ball on across the face of goal, and it evades everybody in a red shirt. And now here come Leicester. It's 3-on-3 as they get up to the halfway line. Fatawu has got Ayew and Page ahead of him, but he plays a square ball to bring Luke Thomas into the game. Thomas finds Page down the left-hand side of the area. Only Ayew waiting for a cross. Page holds it up, rolls it back to the edge of the area. The drive comes in from Thomas, and it's straight up Bryn, who wants to clear from hand straight away, but he has to bowl it out underarm to Aidan Morris. 30 seconds to go, Mickey. 1-1.
Basketball, football, it really is. It's end to end. I said that I sense there's another goal in this game. It's just got that feel about it.
Tommy Conway running at Ricardo Pereira, comes in field for Middlesbrough. 25 yards from goal, lays it off to Morris. Morris has got 2 players moving up on the right. One of them's Callum Britton. As he gets to the right-hand corner of the area, cross into the box, and it's headed away from Strelic by Skipp back there defending. And then Fatawu wins a throw for Leicester City, and that may be that. It may stay at 1 apiece.
Incredible. End-to-end football. Callum Britton, he must have put 15 crosses in from this right-hand side in the second half. He's just put another peach into that 6-yard area, just hoping one of his teammates got on the end of it. What about that break from Leicester? 3v3, then it was 4v3. Just need that quality in the final third. It's not been there in the second half for Leicester.
And there goes the full-time whistle. And Middlesbrough have only got 1 point back on the 3-point lead that Coventry had going into these midweek fixtures. And for Leicester City, back-to-back draws for their new manager away from home. Gary Rowett gets a point here on Teesside like he did in the Potteries. It finished 1-1, and Leicester had the lead through Callum Coley's header from a wicked Divine Mukasa free kick on 18 minutes. But right on half-time, Middlesbrough got themselves level through Riley McGree from a very intelligent build-up involving Hackney and Conway. But the second half saw seesaw football, but ultimately Mickey Gray there weren't that many gilt-edged chances for somebody to go ahead and nab all 3 points for their team.
Well, do you know what? A really enjoyable game, but maybe for the wrong reasons, because it was sloppy at times. And I think two sides will maybe go back into that dressing room and think, we could have done better in that final third, because they had chances to put good balls into the area, maybe somebody with a little bit more desire to get on the end of it. Yes, we got a couple of goals in the game, but there could have been so more. It was an open game for the last 10 to 15 minutes. It was Middlesbrough attacking, then it was Leicester attacking. It just needed somebody to come up with that special moment. But I think overall, after what we've seen tonight, Dance, I think that's probably a fair result.
So what that means is Middlesbrough move on to 63 points, 2 behind Coventry City, the leaders, who go to Sheffield United tomorrow night, live on Talksport. But remember, Coventry have played a game less, so with their game in hand, they could end up 5 points clear by the end of these midweek fixtures. Ipswich and Hull are third and fourth, 57 points, just 6 points behind Middlesbrough Ipswich, with 2 games in hand. You'd rather have the points in the bag. At the other end, West Brom have got themselves a 1-1 draw against Charlton, so it's as you were either side of the dotted line at the bottom, Mickey. It is Leicester third bottom on 34 points, West Brom just a point ahead of them after the same number of games.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, isn't it, where Leicester City find themselves, but it's culmination of all the results and the performances throughout the whole of the season, and add on to that, losing 6 points. But I think what will help them over the last couple of games since Gary Rowett's walked through the door is they've looked as if they're a threat in the final third. They look organised. They look as if they're more difficult to beat. They're getting the better players on the ball, which is obviously a positive moving forward into these final 12 games of the season. So I think they're buoyed from that. They've picked up points in the last couple of games, and it's something to build on. So I think they'll be fine. They just need to find that winning formula over the next couple of weeks. They've got Norwich, they've got Ipswich, yes, difficult games. But Middlesbrough, from their point of view, when you're at the top of the table, Dance, you've got to keep winning, especially in front of your home fans. That wasn't a polished performance by any stretch tonight from the home players tonight. And I think they've got to kind of readdress that and just think, right, how do we get back to winning ways? And they've got to do it the next couple of weeks against your club, Birmingham City, and Queen's Park Rangers.
Live on Talksport 2. That game will be next Monday night at 8 p.m. So 3 without a win for the Teessiders, and back-to-back draws for Leicester City. Doesn't get them out of the bottom 3, but that means the underlying trend of results for the Foxes is a little better. Now, time to get Mickey Gray to rack his brains, because I'm about to ask him to pick his man of the match with McDonald's.
Man of the match on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability, price and participation may vary.
And by the look on Mickey Gray's face, he didn't know this was coming, so I've thrown this at him. Cold. Who's your man of the match, Mickey?
Well, I'm going to give it to one of the Leicester City players, but a standout player for Middlesbrough for me was Callum Britton. I thought he played very well tonight, put so many balls into the area. He came very close to being my man of the match, but I think scoring a goal like he did tonight, I've got to give it to Okoli. I thought that header was absolutely fantastic, so Okoli is my man of the match.
There you go, Callum Okoli gets the nod from Mickey for man of the match. That was all thanks to McDonald's.